right, what's up, everybody? Hey, how's it going? Okay, I'm coming down there. This is too far away. Plus, I'll probably fall off the stage. So, who's never seen me speak live before? Raise your hands really high. Wow, I suck. Okay, got it. Okay. How many of you, though, just so I have context, have seen me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, X, Tinder? I'm kidding. I'm very, very happily married. Just kidding. So I've got a bunch of stuff that I want to talk to you guys about, but I got to get some context. So raise your hands if you've been in the business for less than 5 years. Less than 5 years. Give all these guys and gals a giant round of applause. Looking good, man. All right, now, grab your seats. Don't be mad at me. This could be your last seminar. Ha, ha, ha. Do you want to know why? Because there's an 87% failure rate in our industry. Every 5 years, a whole bunch of people get inspired. Oh my God, I saw Ryan Surratt on $1 Million Listing. I want to go into real estate. And what most of them, and I'm not saying any of you, but what most of them don't understand is this is a very challenging business. For all my veteran friends, who's in the business 10 years or more? Raise your hands. 10 years or more. God bless you all. Okay, let's go right to 20 years or more. Okay, Let's go to 25 years or more. Okay, 25 years or more, stand up. Give these guys and gals a well-deserved giant round of applause. Love it, love it, love it. So hey, sir in the back, so when I say this is a challenging business, am I full of shit or am I right? Thank you very much. He goes, not if you're coaching with Tom Ferry. Even if you're working with me, it's still a hard business, yes or no, guys? So all right, grab your seats. Love you all. I have all this stuff that I want to talk to you about, but here's the challenge. Ready? I have been doing this for like 34 years. And when you've committed to something in your life where it's the only thing you've ever done and you love it and it doesn't feel like work, like landing last night at midnight, getting to the hotel, falling asleep at 1:30, waking up at 4 this morning, go to the gym, do the same thing over and over again. No one gives a shit that I'm tired. You guys with me on this? You guys are like, I want Tom Ferry at his best. That's how you have to show up every single day. Yes or no, guys? And yet, you've all seen this before where they talk about this concept of like, weak people create bad times. Bad times create really strong people. And strong people create really good times, and really good times create very weak people. And that's the cycle. Where do you guys think we are right now in the real estate world? Oh, I would say we're just in very weak people. Very weak people. I'm gonna show you guys how every single person inside this room in the next, let's just call it 100 days, can generate more than $200,000 in commissions. If I gave you a plan of like, this is how you can make $200,000 in commissions in the next 100 days. Now, I'm not saying it's all gonna close, like, maybe it lags and it closes in February, right? Because you put it in escrow in January. But I'm gonna get you $200,000 in revenue. Are you up for that, yes or no? Okay, but do me a favor, turn to your buddy, look him right in the eye and say, you're going to have to do different stuff. I like how, you two said it, then you both looked right at him and said, hey man, we're talking to you. But here's the deal, ready? Look up here, guys. If I said to you, show me on fingers on a scale from 1 to 5. 5 is, my work ethic is second to none. That is my work ethic. I will do whatever it takes. I don't care what my biases are. If Tom Ferry gives me a plan, this guy's been #1 for a decade. If he tells me to send text messages, send the emails, make the phone calls, I'm gonna do it because I am a grinder. I got something I'm working for, whether it's my kids, my spouse, my family, my own mindset, because my parents told me I never could, whatever it is, I am a worker. That's what I am. That's a 5. 1 is, shit, man, this guy wants me to work. How is your mental toughness and your ability to work? Give me your work ethic. Show me on fingers. Where are you? Okay, I think most of you are lying your ass off. You're lying your ass off. Now, I'm not trying to be mean, But you didn't come here to have me say, oh, I'm just gonna make you laugh and tell you you're terrific and the market's gonna be great. And oh, by the way, this whole buyer agency thing, it's gonna blow off. Don't worry about it. No, I'm gonna give you guys the truth today. You guys up for that? Yeah, so 8 of you, that's good. 8 of you said yes, the rest of you are like, I don't know what that means. So here's what we're gonna talk about today. Take a look at this and you tell me, are you mentally ready for this market, yes or no? So pretty gal right here, kind of, like, yeah? Is that like a, okay, so here's the deal, you ready? No one else listen, tell me your name. Sandra, nice to meet you. So Sandra, here's what I know. There's only 2 kinds of people right now in real estate. People that lack resiliency and people that have resiliency. People that have resiliency, you guys know what that means. It means you've experienced loss in your life, you've been down on the count, you've been punched in the gut metaphorically, things didn't go your way, but you got back up anyway and you got after it. That's resiliency. There's a lot of people right now that a lead ghosts them and they stop working for a week. Do you guys know people like that? The challenge is, and it doesn't matter where you are today, the challenge for all of us is it's not the plan, it's the willingness to do the work. It's the willingness to send the texts, to do the emails, to make the phone calls. Because if you don't do it, look up here, you're not going to make any money. Is everybody clear on that? Isn't this motivating? Okay, do me a favor. Look your buddy right in the eye. If you have a threesome, it's a real estate conference, just go with it, right? Look your buddy right in the eye and say, he is really talking to you right now. So here's the question you get all the time, but I'm not referring to like, hey, how's the market? What I wanna know is, how's your market right now? And I don't even mean where you sell. I mean, how is your market? How is your market? The market that lives between your ears. You guys with me on this? So show me on a scale from 1 to 5 on one hand. 5 is, my market is on fire. I have so much resiliency right now. I've got so much determination. I am so fired up. Sitting in this chair is driving me insane. I want to go sell houses. 1 is, it's almost the holidays. It's cold outside. Football is on. You guys with me? Show me on your fingers, real high. Don't lie. And if your hand doesn't go up, it's a 0. Gal from Poland, come on, there you go. Sir, 5. All right. I don't know if you're paying attention. I know this like mic thing's a little weird, so I'm sure the AV guys are trying to figure it out. I don't know if you're paying attention, but in 2024, we're probably gonna sell 3.9 million houses. So from 6.2 to next year forecast 3.9 million. Maybe we get to 4 million. Yes, there's 2 sides. So that's 8 million transactions before new construction. That means there's plenty of opportunity. But right now, my friends, we still have 1.5 million agents in the US. 1.5 million agents, 8 million closings. Is there a problem, yes or no? Now, I'm not saying that all these people should leave the business, though we know about 100,000 people have already checked out and they're not coming back. So maybe that number now is 1.4 million, but we're still only talking about the possibility of 2 or 3 transactions per person if they're really doing the work. The challenge, though, for a lot of us right now, guys, is we're not paying attention to one of the biggest trends happening right now in real estate. Now, you guys know it, and I'm gonna give you some insight on it, but here's what I want you to get. The first question is, where do you rank in your MLS? Where are you? So if you took the top 25%, the top 50%, the top 5%, the top 1% of agents in your association, in your board, in your MLS, do you know where you stand, yes or no? Yes or no? Now, what's funny is the people that are in there, they all know. The people that aren't are like, I don't know. Well, what if I told you, I do these studies, right? A couple of my longtime friends right in the room. We look at these numbers all the time. And here's what we know right now. So here's the thing. What we know right now is the top 25% of the agents in every MLS across the country are controlling about 71% of all the transactions. So here's what's really interesting. If you're in the top 1% of your MLS, that group, you know, call it a 300 agents, 500 agents, depending on the size of your MLS, they're controlling almost 21% of all the business, Andrew. And what's amazing is, if I were to go back 24 months and look at the 21 to 22 numbers versus what I just showed you, what do you see? In the last 24 months, the top 1% used to control, look at the number, 17% of the market, and now today, they're controlling 21% of the market. You know what that tells me, my friends? The rich are getting richer, and what's really happening, and do you guys have any way of taking notes? Okay, write this down. The consumer flight to quality is very real. The consumer flight to quality is very real. Consumers have realized by going to Google or Zillow or any other site, Realtor.com, that they can discover who's the best agent in their marketplace, who has the most reviews, who's selling the most houses. And what we've seen, certainly during the pandemic and now post the pandemic, is this massive migration towards quality, towards certainty. And now, because the real estate market is different, interest rates, you know, thank goodness, what are they today? Are we at like 7.5, right? Remember when they were 8 last week? How much fun was that, by the way? Right? But how many of you remember when they were 2.25? Right? Wasn't that fun? Here's where the real talent shows up. What we're seeing now is the more difficult it is, the more consumers are going to quality agents, track records, experience. All this stuff matters now. And we're gonna make the phone calls, and we're gonna send the text, and we're gonna win a bunch of business. But if you're not thinking about how am I gonna put my brand on steroids in this environment during this time when so many people are maybe not leaving the business, but they've mentally checked out, we got a problem. So let's talk about it. You ready? Here's what we know. For the vast majority of people that are selling a lot of houses, and just so you guys have context, there's about 350,000 agents in the country that control 71% of the market. You guys with me on that? So there's 1.5 million at NAR, but 350,000 control the market. So where do we want to be? Where do you want to be? Do you want to be in the top 1%? Do you want to be in the top 5%, 10%, 25%? Where do you want to be? Tell your buddy, where do you want to rank? Tell your buddy right now, go. Where do you want to be? Say again. Top 1. This team. Okay, good. Where do you want to be? Top 10. Where do you want to be? Top 1. I love that. Where do you want to be? Top 1. Where do you want to be? Well, you're all sitting up front. You better be answering that way, right? It's like, you don't go to church and say, I'm not really into this, and sit in the front row. So here's the thing. What we're looking at is, now look at these numbers. In 2023, this year, we'll finish at about $89 billion paid out in commissions to real estate professionals before new construction. This is just all the regular retail stuff. But the top 350 of them are gonna take 63 of the 89. Think about that. So when I say to you, where do you wanna be? Where do you wanna rank? It's a serious question. Because if you're at the bottom of the top 25%, you're at the bottom of the top 25%, you took 6 listings for the year. That's what it took to make the bottom of the top 25%. But if you were in the top 1% or the 0.02 of 1%, you took north of 127 listings. There's a big difference between number 1 and number 25, right or wrong, guys? So tell your buddy, where do you want to rank? Tell your buddy, be honest, where do you want to rank? So here's the big question, you ready? How many of you follow me on Instagram, just so I have context? Who follows me on Instagram? So when I'm done today, I'm gonna take some selfies, hang out, see some buddies, and then gonna race to the airport, fly back to Dallas, go have dinner with my wife. But on the flight, I'm gonna answer probably 50 or 60 questions. And the question that I just posed for all my followers on Instagram was, what are the 2 or 3 biggest challenges you're working on? What are 2 or 3 of the biggest obstacles you're thinking about right now that if you start working on them today, you can solve those problems in the next 30, 60, 90, 120 days, and whatever happens, it'll be okay. But you know what I discovered? The vast majority of you, and I'm not saying like this is just some coaching, is we're not thinking about what are the problems that I can control. I can't control interest rates. Can you control interest rates? And you call Chairman Powell and say, hey man, it'd really be nice if the rates were in the 5s. Like, could you get on that shit? Right? You're not gonna make that phone call. It's focusing on the problems you can solve. It's focusing on the things you can do. So I want you to write down in your notes, play a game with me. If there was 1, 2, or 3 problems you most need to solve for your business, what are they? What are they? Things that you can control. I'll give you some hints. Do you have enough listings? That might be something we want to solve. Let me give you another one. Are you prepared for the new regulations that are coming around buyer agency? Are you prepared? And if you're not, look up here. You're beep. Got it? So we should work on that today. What do you guys think? How about this one? How many of you in this room realize you're just so ridiculously unorganized that you spend your entire day starting, stopping, go to lunch, come back, start, stop, start drinking? Does this sound remotely familiar? The drinking part, you're all like, well, some of us, and we do edibles, but whatever, it's all good. So I want you to think about it. Now, I just gave you 3 obvious things that are industry specific for all of us, but I want you to tell your neighbor, if there was one problem you wanted to fixate on, you wanted to solve in your business, what is that one problem that if you solve that, you're gonna kill it next year? Tell your buddy, go. What is it for you? All right, what do you got, man? I got you. Yeah, I got you. All right, so check this out. Shh. So one of the unique things, how many of you have seen me speak live before? I know I got a couple of my friends in the room. For the people that have seen me speak live before, I have a couple superpowers. One is I have an enormous capacity to care for people, right? So when I'm seeing friends, I'm like, a bunch of the New World title, I'm like, oh man, we were together in Fort Lauderdale last year. Oh, we were in Jersey, like I just remember people. And I think that makes people feel special. I know it does, right? But the second one is I have the ability to take sometimes complex shit going on your head and simplify it for you, right? So example, this guy says, I'm like, what's the biggest problem you want to solve? Discipline. Okay, discipline to do what? You guys with me? I want to be more disciplined. I want to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, or I want to be more disciplined to make my calls every day, follow on, and schedule appointments every day. What discipline do you want, if that's what you're trying to solve? Does that make sense? You want to be very specific about, so tell me your name, bud. So Josh says, well, I want to do, kind of paraphrasing, I want to do more social media and advertising. And I was like, take a photo, put your credit card in, hit boost. I'm like, but is that what you really want to solve? And the real thing that he wants to solve, as we got to the macro, was I want to be a recognizable face in the marketplace, so I'm on a greater consideration set of the people that I already know and the people that I don't know. I want to build my brand. Does that make sense, guys? So if you can get specific about the thing you want to solve, then you can solve it. But when it's general or generic, there's no way to solve that. Does that make sense? Do you guys familiar with a guy named Bill Gates? Never got laid in high school or college, I promise you. There's no way. But the origin story of Microsoft, he asked one question: how do we build the operating system that all computers run on around the world? It was a very specific question. How do we create the software that all computers in the world run on? Now, what's funny is my next door neighbor in this high rise I live in Dallas, a guy named Dennis. Dennis worked for Bill Gates, was Steve Ballmer's right-hand guy, bazillionaire because of Microsoft. He said, all we did every day in the beginning was obsess about how do we get our software on every computer in the planet. If you can get obsessed about solving that problem, if it's the right problem, you can make a fortune in this business. But if you get distracted by the noise of the day, the news of the day, if you're reading Inman and all that other bullshit, listen to me, people. You are distracted and you're buying into the noise. We have to focus in this environment, yes or no? Yes or no, people? Right? But the key is not just focus, it's focus on what? Making my calls every day, setting another appointment today, moving the ball forward every day. That's the shit that makes you money in this business, right? So let's jam. I have to put this up here as just a reminder. During the pandemic, I had tens of thousands of people that would show up on these like daily shows that I was doing. And it was just a way to try and keep everybody like a little sane during that time. So from the pandemic to today, the thing that I am obsessed with is, number one, you gotta focus on what you can control. Can't control the interest rates, but I can control my ability to explain to a seller what a 2-1 buy down is. I can absolutely sit down with multiple lenders and say, hey, what are the best programs you have today for my VA buyers, my FHA buyers? I can do all that stuff, but I can't control the interest rates. Number one for me though is mental toughness and resiliency. Mental toughness for me is, look up here, I do my job every day with inspired action, no matter what. That's mental toughness to me. Does that make sense? How many of you are with me on this? Mental toughness is I do the work with inspired action every single day, and then I actually say to myself, ready, just for fun, look your neighbor right in the eye. You're gonna talk to your neighbor a bunch today. You're like, can I get a new neighbor? Turn to your neighbor, look him right in the eye and say, no one cares. Say it again, say it again. Okay, you ready? Ready? So I want you to say no one cares to me. Can you guys do that? Okay, say it, ready, go. No one cares. But I'm tired and only got 3 hours of sleep last night. No one cares. But I miss my wife. No one cares. But I've got a deal falling apart. No one cares. I don't even know what to do today. No one cares. You guys got it? Look up here. No one gives a shit. You're like, oh, I'm in the office, I don't know what to do today. No one cares. You with me? I don't have any leads. I'm not really ready for this whole DOJ NAR debacle. Guys got it? Mental toughness is the acknowledgement that no one cares. And look, my mom cares, my wife cares. Every time I see my puppy, he cares. I'm not sure about what, but he's excited. But do you guys understand, like, no one's going to rescue you. Do you get that? No one is gonna rescue you. So get off your ass and start to do something. Can you guys all do me a favor tonight? Will you go to Google and type in death clock? Death, you're gonna love this. Death clock. You answer 6 questions and it tells you exactly when you're gonna die. It is so motivating. For a year, I got a couple of my buddies. Remember, I was writing the day I was gonna die on my arm every day. As like, I'm in the gym and I'm like, I don't feel like working out, I'm gonna die. But it's super motivating when you realize that the bullshit stories you've been telling yourself about not working and no one understands and you don't know my parents, and when I was 4, I wanted a puppy and I got a cat and I'm still angry and that's why I don't make my phone calls. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Any veterans in the room? Okay, veterans, stand up. Could you give these guys and gals a much deserved giant round of applause? Yeah, yeah. So, what'd you serve in? What'd you do? Air Force, what'd you do? What'd you do? Somebody else stood up over here. Okay, who was it? Who else stood up over here? What'd you do? Oh, he said, I thought you meant real estate veteran. No, I was referring to Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, right? So check this out. Is anybody in the room seeing the incredible show called Band of Brothers? Band of Brothers. So my Uncle Frank, who passed away 2 days before he turned 101, was in the 101st and the 506. So he was in all Market Garden, Battle of the Bulge. He was in, I get goosebumps every time I think about it. So I'm sitting with Uncle Frank the day before he turned 100 last year, lives in Boston. I take my 2 boys. We get to sit down when it was supposed to be a 30-minute meeting. He's almost gonna be 100. You gotta kind of be mindful of his energy. And 3 hours later, he's sitting in his room showing my boys all the Purple Hearts, all the medals, and the scrap metal that went into his leg that they had to pull out during the Battle of the Bulge. And they said to him, you know, you can leave. You've already done enough. You paratrooped in, your plane got riddled with bombs, and like everything was destroyed. You were 60 miles off course. You marched back with a couple buddies, fought your way through enemy lines, and you got to here, and then you went into all those incredible fights. He did all of that stuff. And when my son said to him, Uncle Frank, like, why? You'd already done, like, you'd done so much. He was like, the job wasn't done. I had to be there with my guys. I had to do whatever it took. Now, he's saying it as 100-year-old. I had to do whatever it took. I got to be with my guys. And here's what's funny. Some of you won't even call your past clients. And he went back into war. How mentally tough are you? Think about it, right? Weak people create bad times. Bad times create really hard people. And hard people create really good times for all. And then those good times for all, people get soft as shit, right or wrong. Okay, do me a favor, look at your buddy and go, he is so talking to you right now. Okay, the number 2 and number 3 should be obvious, but did you take a photo of number 3? Sweetheart, hey, girl power, with the incredible hair, stand up. Okay, I can't see so well, but tell me your name. Okay, because you look a lot like my friend Marley, and I was like, what's going on, Marley? I thought you lived in Fort Lauderdale. Okay, your hair is awesome. Give her a giant round of applause. Okay, now, are you looking at number 3? Number 2 is obvious. If you're not taking listings, you're not even in the game. And we're gonna work on that today. But number 3 is, if you don't have a 3-part buyer consultation where you're sitting down with buyers and saying, let me explain the contracts, let me walk you through the process. Here's all the things that are gonna transpire. Here's all the ways that I'm gonna mitigate risk for you. Second part is, let's talk about money. How much money do you have? How much money you're working with? What's your payment schedule? Like, what do you look like? What are you gonna do? By the way, this is how I get paid. 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 If you're not comfortable doing that, you will be in trouble. Is everybody clear on this? Right? There was a wonderful survey by the guys at 1000 Watt, which I'll reference today, that 1,000 home buyers, 47% of them that bought a house in the last 12 months, when asked the question, did your agent properly explain the contract to you? Guess what the answer was? No. Did your agent explain how they got paid? What do you think the answer was? And when the people said yes, they said, and how did you feel about it? Most said, I'm still confused. So we've got all this noise in the marketplace right now, and the vast majority of people aren't prepared for what we have been discussing for 5 years. For 5 years, a couple of my coaching clients and coaches and I, we've been talking about it for 5 years. Get ready, change is coming. There's talk right now that 30% of the buy-side commission will go away next year. Do you wanna know why it's gonna go away? Do you guys wanna know why? Look at your buddy and say, because you don't know what to say. Because you don't know how to say, here is the value that I provide. These are the things that I do. This is how I'm gonna mitigate risk. This is how I'm gonna make sure your transaction closes. If you're not prepared for that stuff, guys, it's okay. Become a really good listing agent, or you're in trouble. Does that make sense? Just keeping it real. All right, let's keep jamming. So, I hope you write some of this down. I am slightly obsessed with business. It has been, candidly, since I sold weed in the 7th grade. It is, like, supply and demand. I was the only guy with the weed. I had all the sales, right? It was awesome. When I started throwing punk rock shows at friends of mine's houses, not at my house, I would never do that to my mother, but if your parents were gone, I'm gonna get 3 bands, 4 kegs, and I'm gonna get 2 of my buddies to stand at the door and collect $5 per person. And it was like, I figured it out, like, making money is fun. You guys with me on this? Doing business is fantastic. But now, at 53 years old, gonna be 54, when I start to reflect back on the 22 companies that I've started, the 120 different businesses that I've invested in along the way, when I just study business in general, there's 4 things that every great business has. 4 things that every great business has. 4 things that every great business has. The first one is their brand. Their brand. So Josh was like, I wanna do more social. You don't wanna do more social to do more social. You wanna do more social so people go, hey, that's that guy I saw on TikTok. Hey dude, I love that video you did the other day. That was really cool. And I shared it with 3 of my friends. Like, that's why we want to do social. But what we're really saying is, I want to put my brand on steroids. I want to be more recognizable. I want people to go, there he is, there she is. I recognize you. That's key. So we're going to talk about that. The second one is, you got to have a great product. Now, do me a favor. Look at your buddy and say, you are the product. Now, the product gets bifurcated. One is the service and the offerings that you make. It's what you deliver. But the second one is the listings that you take. The listings that you take impact your brand, yes or no, guys? You take the killer listing, you take the premium listing, you have the short sale, and you help the people get their equity out and not be in trouble. Like, all the listings that you take are a part of your brand. The third one is marketing, but marketing I would define not the way you would. Write this in your notes. Marketing is building your tribe. Marketing is building your tribe. Marketing is building trust with a bunch of people. It's the know, like, and trust part of your business. So the more I market, the more people get to know me, the more people like me, the more people trust me. So then when I make an offer like, curious about the value of your home, or hey, have you had any thoughts of selling? They're like, you know, it's funny, I was thinking about you the other day, and yes, matter of fact, we have. You've earned that trust. Does that make sense? So when people say marketing, everybody goes, oh, like direct mail or email or social. No, those are just part of really the fourth one, which is distribution. How do you get the word out? How do you get the word out? So is it social, Insta, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, X, whatever, yada, yada, yada? Or is it email? Or is it direct mail? Or is it making phone calls? Is it knocking on doors? Is it doing open houses? Is it going to networking events? Is it like celebrating the kids' school by, giving them money and being a part of the charitable side of your kids' school? There's a million points of distribution, but most of you, look up here, most of you are you're trying to figure out like where your next deal is coming from. How am I gonna find my next transaction, right? I want you to start thinking, hey, between now and the end of the year, how am I gonna put my brand on steroids? How am I gonna refine me as the product? How am I gonna build a list of people that go, I like you, I like you, I like you, you're my guy, you're my gal? And then all the different ways I'm gonna distribute the message. Facebook, Insta, email, whatever it may be, there's no wrong way. Smoke signals work too, you guys got it? All right, tell your buddy on that list, where do you most need help? Tell your buddy, where do you most need help? Tell your buddy. Hey, David. I'm assuming David is somewhere around here. Yes. And then bad times create strong people. Strong people create good times. Good times create weak people. All right, so let's keep jamming. You guys ready? So who needs to work on their brand? Say I. Who needs to work on their brand? And you know this because you walk down the street and nobody recognizes you. You go into a grocery store and nobody goes, oh, dude, I see you all the time. I follow you on Instagram. Yesterday, get this. I get out of a car, I'm going to DFW to fly to wherever I flew last night, like LaGuardia. And as I get out of the car, I hug my driver, it was my buddy Jose, give him a hug, and I go, all right, brother, I'll see you tomorrow. And as I'm walking up, this guy goes like this, Tom Ferry, Tom Ferry. And I was like, hey, you don't speak English. He's like, Tom Ferry, selfie. And I was like, where are you from? And he's like, I'm from Turkey. Istanbul. And I'm like, oh shit, I was there 2 years ago, did a seminar, he was in the room. Does that make sense? That's a brand. And like, I was able to, because you can quickly grab your phone and translate. I'm like, why are you here? He's like, Tony Robbins. I was like, yes. I'm like, dude, I'll be there on Saturday. Hold on, I will be there on Saturday, translate to Turkish. He was like, okay, selfie? That's a brand. Does that make sense? But let's go a little deeper on what that actually means. So agents and teams are getting lost in a sea of sameness. Lost in a sea of sameness. You are getting lost in a sea of sameness. I have no idea what my timing is, so will you give me like a 1 hour mark and then like a 30-minute mark? Cool. So a brand is an association built through experiences. So the guy in Turkey saw me speak in Istanbul, right? I went to the networking party afterwards. I took selfies with everybody. I was hugging people. I was hanging out. Nobody spoke English. I speak no Turkish, but we all enjoyed good wine. Does that make sense? Like, so we have this experience. And there was like 1,000 people at this event. And I'm hanging out, I'm there for 2 days. I would see people as I was walking the streets and going to some of the monuments and museums and trying to check stuff out, right? Just trying to be in the culture. And I would see people, they were all from Remax, wearing their Remax pin. Oh, Tom Ferry. I created some emotional experience for them. Does that make sense? So this morning, talking with a friend about your brand is not a logo. You guys get me on this? Like, oh, I'm gonna redo my logo. Look up here. Who gives a shit? Okay, let's play a game. You ready? Do you guys know the hotel company, the Marriott? Okay, so if the Marriott decided that they were going to build sneakers for people that play basketball, what would you say to yourself? You'd be like, Marriott's gonna build sneakers? Right? You'd be like, huh? But if Nike said, we're gonna create a hotel, would you be interested, yes or no? And could you almost imagine what it would be like? You would walk in and it'd be like every one of your famous like sports athletes. It'd be a very fit environment. It would be very exciting, right? Like, see, they both have a logo. Nike creates an experience. They inspire us to do something. You guys with me on this? So when you're like, oh, I'm gonna get a new logo, I'm like, no one gives a shit, right? In the middle of your logo, just put this really small, see if anybody even notices it. And then what you're gonna realize is no one cares about your logo. Does that make sense? They care about how you make them feel. So, brands that you admire, non-real estate, Nike, Apple, Mandarin Oriental, Tesla, Ferrari, In-N-Out Burger, Disney, all those companies and thousands more create an experience, an emotion. Then I say, cool, now name one real estate agent that gives you that. Name one that's put it on steroids. And then because I know all of them, take all of my friends that are on television out of the equation. Take all the $1 million listing people, right? Josh and his wife and all that, you know, Hoobie-Doo and Frederick, right? Like, take all of them out. Take Buying Beverly Hills, all my, John, Mauricio, right? Santi, take all of them out. Now, show me an agent that you go, oh my God, when I'm with that person, I just feel electric. Now, I know thousands that have figured it out. Thousands that literally, when they're walking through an airport, when they're walking through their community, they get stopped all the time. Would you like that, yes or no? You know what that is? That's the difference between pulling marketing versus having to push your marketing. Pulling is, they know me, they like me, they trust me, they've seen me, but we've never met before. But they have an identity for me. They know who I am. Pushing is, here's a phone call, here's a cold call, here's an open house, I meet you, etc. So the game, let's see if I can play this. Can you guys make sure the volume's working? This is one of my clients.
I'm Tim Smith from the Smith Group at Coldwell Banker Previews International. Welcome to 1813 East Bay Avenue in beautiful Newport Beach, California.
Do you guys know who Cali Swag is? He actually got the performers to be in his listing video.
Excuse me.
Why, yes.
You mind telling us where we are?
Oh, well, this is Newport Beach.
Well, what is that?
That is a Duffy.
Do you guys remember their song,
No.
Teach Me How to
A
Dougie?
Duffy.
All right, will you mind teaching us how to Duffy?
Well, hell yeah. Come on down, guys. Wonderful. Yeah. We'll be Duffying all day.
This is a listing video.
They be like, Maya, what's up? Can you teach me how to Duffy? I'm like, yeah, man. Cause all in Newport loves me. All I need is a boat that's super slow so I can cruise from the Bay Club to Lido.
Teach me how to Duffy. Teach me how to Duffy. Teach me how to Duffy. Teach me how to Duffy.
I think you got the idea. That video got 5 million views on a $42 million house across the bay from my old place. $42 million house, new construction, spec deal. 2 buyers, all cash, bidding to close. One lived in Connecticut, one lived in southern New York, Florida. Thank you. Both were sent this by a friend. One was sent it by their child who said, Dad, I watched this video. That party looks sick. Because the entire listing video we shot in 24 hours at the house without the guy that built the house there. And what we did is we threw a giant dance party, and my lily white Mormon buddy, Tim Smith, got a wrap with two stars that he absolutely loves. And it's this hysterical video that now, this place is across the bay from my old place, people will take those little electric boats, a Duffy boat, and they will cruise up to the house all summer long, hammered, going, the Duffy house. You guys with me on this? That's what your listing videos created, right? Welcome to my charming 3-bedroom, 2-bath bungalow. Look, there's poop on the carpet. It's a brand, right or wrong, guys. So here's what happens. Timmy gets phone calls all the time saying, come list our house. And that guy over there is groveling. That's the difference between having a brand and not having a brand. Now, what if I told you Timmy, personal client of mine for 13 years, makes 20 to 25 outbound contacts every single day. His brand is so good, but he doesn't want to leave anything to chance, so he talks to his past clients, he talks to his sphere, he gets referrals, he gets Google leads. All he wants to do is talk to people and go on appointments, talk to people, go on appointments. So he's taking advantage of his brand, not, I built this huge brand, now let me sit back and wait. And what you all know to be true is this, that when you don't have a brand, help. All right, seminar's over. Can't get the clicker to work. There we go. Nobody cares. I love you. Those without a brand discount all their fees. That's what that says. Those without a brand discount all their fees. So what is your brand? Take a look at this really quick. Ready? That's your brand. That's your brand. That's what it is. It's your face. It's you. It's what you look like. Tom, I don't like how I look. No one cares. What are you gonna do? Scare someone when you show up? Right? Or, hey, who has ever seen a card, and ladies, it's mostly ladies, we get a card, we look at their card, and we're like, wow. And then they show up, and we're like, wow. Is your daughter coming to the meeting, or is this just you? So you know, by the way, and then on that card, they say things like, trust and integrity. But you lie about your photo. Do you guys all get how like non-symbiotic that is? Okay, the other part is your words and your stories. People remember stories, they don't remember the facts and details. They remember the stories, they don't remember the facts and details. Your tone, how it makes people feel. The way you sound, the way you come across. Are you always talking like this? Or sometimes talking like this? Do you have some variance and people go, oh yeah, that person's like really like, I love, like her jam is just awesome, right? Also, it's the body of your work, which is all of your social contact and your emails and the open houses that you do. It's everything that you do. The question is, does it feel and look and act like you? All my clients in the room. Stephanie Younger, write that down. Stephanie Younger, write that down. Stephanie Younger did 600 open houses last year. That's a good number, right? For an $18 million producer in LA, like 18 million in gross commission income. Is that good? But they did 600 open houses, but every single one of them, the flags are set up like this. The sign in front of the door on because they'll do like, 8 open houses on a Saturday, 8 open houses on a Sunday. That's how you get to 600. You have to do a lot of them. But every one of them has the same flag. Every one of them has the same sign. Every one of them has the same signage. Every one of them has the same experience, the same whatever food that they're doing. Everything is the same. It is the Stephanie Younger branded open house. You guys get that? Do you have that, yes or no? Think about it. That's an opportunity. Now, your reviews, your reputation, your track record, all of that is a part of your brand, yes or no? Yes or no? But Tom, what if I don't have a track record? No one cares. So you know what you have to do? You go to your broker owner and you say, hey, can I use all of our transactions, put it on a flyer, do it on a map, show all the transactions, and then say, so proud to be associated with this team. We helped 480 people last month buy and sell real estate right here in Hoobie-Dooville, but it's only your face and your phone number. You acknowledge it was everybody else, your face, your number. Does that make sense? People don't want, oh, You just became a brain surgeon? Can I be your first? People aren't interested in that. You know it and I know it. Distribution, where and how often, and ultimately what clients say about you. So I'm gonna make it easy for you guys. Take a photo of that. Here's your assignment tonight. I want you to go to ChatGPT, and I want you to say, hi, it's me, it's Tom Ferry. Do you recognize me? And ChatGPT will instantly scour the internet and say, oh yeah, you're a real estate agent at Weichert. I know exactly who you are, and you have red hair. We are 2.5% of the population and shrinking. Do your part. Do you have kids yet? Do they have red hair? Blonde, okay, it'll go to the next generation. I married a dark-skinned Italian, and my boys came out with red hair and blue eyes, but those little shits tan. It drives me nuts, right? So they got mom's skin, but they got my hair, so I knew I was involved. All right. So I want to go to ChatGPT and I want to say, my name is Tom Ferry and I'm a real estate agent in Hoobie-Dooville. Do you recognize me? And ChatGPT is going to scour the internet 1 second and say, yep, I know who you are. Analyze all of my Google reviews to help me understand my brand and value proposition to my clients. Look for deep insights, unique factors, and valuable aspects consumers will demand. And then it scours your Google business page. You can put Zillow on there too. It'll scour all the reviews, and then it'll say, hey, all of your clients seem to say this, this, and this about you. The way I would turn that into messaging or a video, or you guys with me on this? How many of you guys are with me on this? This isn't go get a new logo that only you know about. No one cares about your logo. You guys with me on this? I've never said this before, like put this really tiny in it, just see if anybody calls. Because no one goes, oh my gosh, her logo has a house on it. Can I buy a home from you? You guys know what I'm talking about? No one needs this photo of you. No one needs it. No one cares. Does that make sense? All right, so let's keep jamming. Now, the next part is your product. Your product is you, and it's the listings that you take. We're gonna talk about both. Say that out loud, please. Say it out loud, really loud. And is the world changing in real estate? Which means a lot of people are gonna get broken. Now, I'd make the argument, your role is changing. So let's talk about it. What's the future of buyer's agents right now? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? You and I might have a different opinion. I say a trusted consultant who helps decode how this move will maximize joy, profits, or eliminate pain will always be in vogue. Someone that does that will always be in vogue. I also say, until every home in the world is exactly the same, there will always be the need for an agent, an expert, to explain this home and the story. 1,000%. Now, how you get paid, that may change. But I also say to you, smart agents and teams, I would take a photo of this, because this is the key. Smart agents and teams will begin marketing their process. When you buy a home from us, we have a 7-point plan. We do 19 things. We have a 3-point system for helping our clients not only make the process easier, more convenient, less stressful, but the most important thing we do is we protect you. We protect you. So 1,000 watt, right? Mark and those guys, we saw at the summit, who killed it. So Mark and Brian, just so no one else listened, they just did a survey of 1,000 home buyers, right? On the 3rd page of the survey, they highlight 7 things that consumers said about agents. The standout point was 43% of consumers that bought a house in the last 36 months, here's what they said. 43% said, thank God I had a real estate agent. They helped me mitigate risk. 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 I don't see anybody writing that down. That really makes me nervous. You already wrote it down fast. Okay, I love you. You know what that means? Safer, protecting my interest, less stressful, more convenient. You guys got it? So, 1,000 watt survey, you guys gotta get on that. The other one is you should go to my YouTube channel and you should watch Coach Alicia Essig, her 3-part buyer agency training. If you don't know what to say in a buyer consultation, watch that video. Last year and the year before, it was the most watched training we did amongst all of our coaching clients, and it's all on YouTube, and you're gonna love it, because this is a gal, look up here, 25-year veteran, former president of the Association of Maryland Realtors. You can't get more litigious than her. You can't get more by the book than her. You guys with me? And I know you guys are like from New York, or maybe you're from New Jersey, and you guys try and break every fucking rule on the planet. Don't. Because you will lose. You guys with me on this? We gotta be really conscious of the confusion that all these headlines are creating in the market. We have to be very conscious and be prepared to educate. And maybe, write this in your notes because there's no slide, you might just need a menu of services. You might have to have a gold, silver, platinum package. And guess what? When you have a 3-part package, a 3-part solution that you're offering to buyers and sellers, by the way, I have 3 different packages for the home buyers I work with. One, I charge you $2,500, and what we do is we do the paperwork for you, you go find the house. I'm just making this up. The silver package is we find the property, right, and we do la 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 and la 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 la, and for that we charge, I'm making this up, 1.5%, right? But if you want the platinum service where there is no inventory and you're hiring us to go find you a house, we charge 2.5%. And here's the 39 things we do: protect you, mitigate risk, show up to the appraiser, solve, and you list out all the things that you do. You guys with me on this? How many of you are with me on this? I think if you're not doing something like that, and by the way, for a bunch of my coaching clients, that's Tom Toole, myself, Jill Biggs, we've got a Google Doc, we're all working on this, so we're gonna share it with everybody, so everybody's involved in this process, because we need to win. We have got to do this right. And now is the time, because you're going to die. Google death block. You're gonna die. And some people actually care. I care. All right, let's keep going. All right, so let's talk about the one thing I know you guys all want. Who wants more listing appointments? Say aye. Are you willing to do the work? Even in that yawn and stretch, I saw that. That was good. You partied too hard last night. All right, ready? So here's what I know. During the pandemic, what drove the market? Get me out of New York. I want to go to Florida. You with me? The pandemic, oh my God, I can work from anywhere. I don't want to be here. I want to be on the beach. I want to be on a lake. I want to be on a mountain. I want to be someplace else other than stuck in my apartment, whatever that may be. But what do we see today? That's not driving the market. What's driving the market now is when circumstances change. The only reason people are selling today is their circumstances have changed. Now, for my clients, you know it looks like this. It looks like, hey, we're having a baby. We're in a 1-bedroom. We need more space. Oh my goodness, my Uncle Frank passed away. Daughter called me, what do you want to do? Well, Aunt Addie and Uncle Frank bought the house in 1947 for $11. The lot is worth $1.7 million. How are we gonna optimize this? How are we gonna take care of the family? Diamonds, will you marry me? I used to live in a town called Newport Beach, California. Anybody ever been there before? Newport Beach, California, the divorce rate, 72%. If you were gonna be a luxury real estate agent, that's the town. 7, because you're like, oh, how long you guys been married? 3 years? You're like, future seller. My buddy calls me and he's like, hey, Ferry, he's like, come down, like, I'm getting married. I was like, oh, yeah, okay, you're getting married. Again. All right, where are we going? We're going to Cabo. I'm like, how old is she? 12? Like, he's 63, he just keeps aging down, right? They're getting divorced. That was 1.5 years ago. He just loves to get married. I think that's what he really likes. He doesn't really like being married, but he loves getting married. He would be a really good client to have. You guys with me? It happens. Some of you are like, I can't believe he's saying that. Divorce, diplomas, default, de-relocation, AKA definitely moving. So the guy that cuts my hair happens to be a real estate agent, right? Now he was cutting my hair, and then one day when I was sitting in his chair, he's like, I Googled you. You have a lot of videos on YouTube. And I go, yeah, and he goes, I'm thinking about becoming a real estate agent. I'm like, well, I've never heard that before. So he still cuts my hair, right? But he's been selling real estate now for 2 years. Has 3 deals in escrow right now, right? He's having a bang up year, kind of works like North Dallas where I live. And just took a listing over the weekend. So because I know the guy, because basically like I pay him to cut my hair, but what he really gets is a 30-minute free coaching session. Do you know what I mean? So he's like, hey man, what do you recommend here? And I'm thinking about this, and can I show you this postcard I'm thinking about sending out? I'm like, dude, just cut my hair, bro, all right? Just cut my hair. But I love the guy, right? Shout out to Christopher. He used to live in New York City, by the way. So I say to him, all right, so what's going on? Where'd the listing come from? He goes, door knocking 9 months ago. And I go, tell me about that. He goes, I knocked on the door, I met these people, they were renting, I sold them a house 30 days later for $500,000. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember that deal, the like little Claremont. He's like, yeah. He goes, guess what? They called me over the weekend and said, well, we bought the house and started a new restaurant in the same month. We can't afford to do both, so we want to sell the house, take the cash out, put it into the business, because we've already got a prospect to open up a second location, and then we'll sell it, then we'll go buy another house, right? They bought their dream home 8 months ago. Circumstances change, right or wrong? Right or wrong, guys? So what's the game for all of us? The game is to talk to more people to figure out whose circumstances are changing. Guys got it? So you gotta have at least 3 ways you're gonna attract sellers in 2024. Write that down. You gotta have at least 3 ways. I'm drinking bourbon this morning. What are you guys drinking? Yeah, scotch, bourbon, all good, or Chinese herbs. All right, so the question I would be asking if I was you is I would say, okay, in the past, what has worked? What's worked to get me listings? What have I done in the past that worked? Then I would say, Sandra, where have I generated listings in the past, but I was super inconsistent with my marketing execution, but it seemed like every time I did it, I got a listing, but I would stop doing it. I wasn't disciplined to continue to do the right activities over and over again. Or where am I placing my marketing bets? Where am I just gonna place my bets? Because I've gotta have at least 3 ways. Now, has anybody in the room been fishing before? Fishing, familiar with the concept, anybody? Line in water, try and find something. Have some sushi later, yum. So you have a choice. You can throw 1 line in the water, or you can put 3 lines in the water, or you can try and put a giant net in the water and scoop everything up. This is marketing, right? So what do we know? That list is where you should be starting. Your past clients in Sphere, obviously. Maybe it's a geographic farm where you've sold houses. Maybe it's open houses that attract sellers. Maybe you're gonna go expired listings and for sale by owners. Maybe you're gonna do Google advertising, agent referrals, circle dialing. There's no wrong way to do it, my friends. There's no wrong way to do it, but you gotta pick 2 more beyond your database. Beyond your database. And here's a young guy, one of our coaching clients. So he's working with Carl Rizzuto, who's a legendary coach. So the guy looks like he's 12, but he's 13 years in the business, which is pretty fantastic. So his coach says to him, hey, I was looking in your marketplace on Realtor and Zillow and others, and I noticed there was a large number of for sale by owners. And the guy says, I don't like for sale by owners. And his coach says, no one cares. Do you like listings? What did he say? Yeah. He says, but I don't know what to say. Carl's like, I can help you with that. Here's the script. Do this, get the appointment, go see him, and boom, he lists 7 listings in 10 days. Guess what now? He loves for sale by owners now because he figured out what to say. Hey, at what point will you guys make the shift from trying to sell on your own to working with a professional real estate agent? Well, we have a lot of activity right now. We really think, a buyer's gonna show up. We got a couple of people circling around. That's wonderful, and I hope it sells. And by the way, if you want, I can review the contract for you to make sure that we mitigate risk and all the right things happen. But if that doesn't happen, at what point, and here's what we know, and I'm not telling you to work for sale by owners, I'm not. I'm giving you an example. What I know, because a company called Fisber gave me all the data, on day 61, the average for sale by owner says, this isn't working. And they start interviewing agents. Interesting. So, here's another list. Look at these 7. 70-year-old homeowners in 2-story houses as a niche farm. That is a really good idea, right? Go to your buddy at New World Title and say, can you pull a report of all the homeowners in my area that have lived in their home for 30 or 40 years? Just get that. Homeowners 30 to 40 years, ideally 2-story properties. Is there a good chance that they're going to sell in the future? What do you guys think? Okay, here's what most of you don't understand. Look your buddy right in the eye, because this is really important. Regarding people that have owned their home for 30 to 40 years, longer than you have been alive, look your buddy right in the eye and say, their agent died years ago. How many of you get what I'm talking about? Say aye. Right? So I'm saying you need to call on those people, you need to build relationships, you need to become their agent, because their agent is 6 feet under. And their agent abandoned them years ago. Now, if I go back, list and build under zone lots, expired listings because of who you are, seller seminars, the Queen of Queens, one of my clients, Maureen Fallon, kills it right over in Queens. Listing Airbnbs where the market is oversaturated or the legislation has changed has been a really good strategy this year. Picking a niche farm that's big enough. So the question is, what are you gonna add? What are you gonna add? You can't just work your past clients in Sphere. I want you to do that. I'm gonna show you how to do it effectively, but you've got to have multiple ways that you're attracting listings. You wanna mitigate your risk around buyer agency? Yes or no? List more houses. List more houses. By the way, don't think, oh, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna list all these houses. I'm gonna double into every deal. No, we got NAR nonsense lawsuits on this side, but we got the DOJ over here on this side. And the DOJ, guess what they're saying? We do not want dual agency. We do not want you double ending transactions. Dual agency, the actual rule is, if you work for Weichert or Element or Real or whatever company you work for in your office can't even write an offer on your listing because that would break dual agency. It's messed up right now, guys. Now, here's the good news. None of that legislation has changed, but the DOJ is coming this way, and the consumers and these lawsuits are coming this way, and you're sitting right here in the middle. We need to work on this shit, yes or no? Do me a favor, look at your buddy and say, list more houses. I'll be your buddy. He's got nobody there. I ain't got nobody. All right, so how many people are in your phone? How many people are in your phone? Let's play a game. Pull out your phones. How many people? If you have an iPhone, just go to contacts. It's usually right at the top. If you have a Droid, please get an iPhone. You are so annoying on group chat. I hate you people. I know. Join the iPhone cult, yes. So, how many people you got in your phone? 5,400. How many people you got in your phone? How many? 15? You have 15 total contacts in your phone. How many? 1,500. I was like, shit, girl. You are introverted. All right. So here's what I know. Yell your number. How many people do you have in your phone? Yell your number out loud. So you ready? 5% of them, 5% of your 8,700, 5% will sell their house in the next 12 months. 5%. 5%. Look up here. We don't have an inventory problem. We have an execution problem. We do not have an inventory problem. We have, you don't execute enough. You spend more time complaining that there's no inventory versus spending time talking to the people that already know you, like you, and trust you about whose circumstances are changing. So let's jam. You ready? Mega trend. Say that word out loud. Nobody wants to be sprayed on. They want it to be personal. So how are we gonna use this mega trend? Homeowners, take a photo of this, they ask you, how's the market? All the time, right or wrong, guys? How's the market, how's the market, how's the market, right? Do you think the homeowners want like some Bloomberg-esque answer? Well, the 10-year treasury just dropped 0.2%, putting the yield curve now at, first of all, none of you even know what the hell I'm talking about. Have you figured out that most agents, not you, but most agents suck at math? Except when I say, the purchase price is $345,000. You're like, 2.5% of that is this, right? You seem to all have that one figured out. When people ask you, how's the market? What they really want to know is my equity safe? Are home prices going up or going down? Is this market condition gonna change the future plans that I have for my home? That's what's going on in the minds of consumers right now. So we got a lot of consumer confusion. We got obviously the mega trend of personalization. Click, click, dude. I'm hitting the button, but it ain't going nowhere. It did? Okay, good. So you already know 3 to 5? Click, click. Oh, so I have to look away. That's the key. If I look away, that's when it switches. Hold on, I gotta make sure. So 3 to 5, take a look at this. All my coaching clients in the room. 1,719 of our 15,000 coaching clients are reporting their numbers to us on a weekly basis inside of a campaign called make $100,000 in 100 days. And I told you I'll make you 200 because that's what they're all on track to do. That group has sent 229,538 text messages the way I'm gonna teach you how to do it, and they got 11,845 listing appointments. Send text messages, get listing appointments. Send emails, get listing appointments. Here's what I want you to start with. You have clients, their homes are on Zillow, yes or no? Yes or no? They're all on Zillow, even if they don't wanna be, they're on Zillow. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna take their home on Zillow, take a screenshot of it, and then we're gonna send them this text. Hey, Stephen, I was on Zillow earlier today looking for a property for a client of mine in your neighborhood. I thought I would check out your home's estimate while I was there. The estimated home value is $1,849,000. And then you post the photo of their house, personalization, their home, their estimate. And then you say, I have my opinion, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think? And you text that to your client. You guys got it? Can you do that, yes or no? Okay, so I'm gonna go back and I wanna show you the numbers. 229,538 of those text messages have resulted in nearly 12,000 listing appointments. Do you know how to send text messages? Do you have access to the internet? Have you been on Zillow before? So all three of these things, can you do a screenshot? Because if you don't, go to your like 6-year-old and say, how do I do a screenshot? No, mommy, you're such a dumbass, right? And just like that, you're in the game. Now, someone in the room will say, but Tom, shouldn't I use RPR? Shouldn't I use the MLS? No, because those numbers are accurate. Ha, you just got it. We're gonna put Zillow on their ass. Their prices are almost always wrong. You with me? So I wanna use it, and by the way, if you send in the MLS number and it's super accurate, that's okay too, but what you don't understand is we've already lost the game. Google, when you go and you start saying homes for sale in, there's a button there that says, you mean Zillow. The game is over. They've won search. They have 200 million people going to their website every single month. You guys got that? So we're gonna play into the zeitgeist and give them their price on Zillow. Now watch this. If you're gonna do this, they're gonna say to you, well, I'd really like to know, and then you say, hey, why don't I do an equity review for you? Why don't I give you the exact price? But only 5% of the people are gonna say this, dude, I can't believe you just texted me. My wife and I were chatting last night. We decided to move to Southern New York, AKA Miami, so we're gonna put the home on the market. It's so weird that you just text me this. 5% of the people will do this. But you guys know in the Northeast, they don't say, hey, it's November 9th, let's put our home on the market tomorrow. They say, we wanna wait until the... So that when you go back and look at the numbers and you're like, wait a minute, 11,845 listing appointments, but only 4,065 or whatever, 4,500 listings taken, it's because some of them are gonna wait till the spring market, right? So you know what I'm talking about. So you're all gonna do this, yes? Yes? I can't hear you. Hey, if you don't do it, no one cares. And by the way, if you don't do it, it's okay, because all the people you have in your phone, some other agent in the room has some of them also. And if you abandon your friends and you abandon your family and you abandon your clients, you don't deserve the deal. Got it? Got it? Oh, he's mean. New World paid him to do this to us? Yes, with love, and a lot, by the way. All right, let's keep jamming. So, you know what you wanna do? Who's on Instagram? Say aye. You wanna do an Instagram story, and you're gonna say something like this, a way to showcase the success of your clients. Hey, we just did a home equity review for a client we helped buy a home in 2021. They gained $348,000 in equity. Do your client's equity, that's a sample, right? But then on Instagram it says, we just did an equity report for one of our clients. They gained $346,000 in equity in the last 3 years. Do you want an equity report? The first one is, yes, please. The second one is, what's an equity report? And they click that one. And all of us know on polls on Instagram, we know all the people that said yes, please, and we know all the people that said, what's that? That right now, for my coaching clients and friends, that is producing 7, 8 leads every time they do it. 7, 8 opportunities, people like, I'd like an equity report. You guys make sense? Who's gonna do it, yes or no? Every hand must go up on this one. Oh, I'm not on Instagram. Okay, I'll fax you something and you can join us in 2023. So here's the numbers for my coaching clients. Pay attention, ready? Here's the numbers. So 229,000 229,000 text messages basically means every 20 text messages they send, they get a listing appointment. Not, hey dude, thinking about you. Hey man, looking at your house on Zillow because I was in the area, la 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 la. What do you think about this equity? What's your opinion? That text. Then email, 157 to an appointment, calls, 33 calls to an appointment, conversations, 10 conversations to a listing appointment right now. Do me a favor, look your buddy right in the eye and say, do the work. Do the work. All right. Everybody take a look at that. The top is you. Oh my God. I want to thank my friend at New World Title so much for coming here and bringing Tom Ferry. I'm so fired up right now. 4 days later, gone. But on the flip side, I convert this into a discipline. I say, I'm gonna send 10 text messages a day, every day between now and January 31st, maybe minus the holidays, take some time off, I don't care. But I'm gonna be disciplined about it. And who has kids in the room? Raise your hands if you have kids. Do you like them? So you say to your kids, ready? I want you to tell me what you want more than anything else. Your budget is $1,000. What do you want? Is your kid gonna come up with some answers, yes or no? I want a bag of weed and a new Xbox, right? All right, 27-year-old, got it, living in the basement. Whatever they say, you got a $1,000 budget. Anything you want, you have a $1,000 budget. Mommy, $1,000? Dad, $1,000? Anything you want. How do I get it? When do I get it? When I send 10 text messages a day, 5 days a week, and I get to pick a number, whatever it is, 200 of them by January 31st, when I get there, you get $1,000 cash to go do whatever you want. Okay, what if you don't do it, Mommy? Then you don't get the money. What's your 8-year-old gonna do to you every day? Listen, bitch, give me your phone. I got this. All you got, give me the script. I'll do it for you. Right or wrong, guys? Right or wrong? Yeah, okay, do we have any single moms in the room? Single moms, raise your hands. Okay, I was raised by a single mom, so God bless you guys. My mom hustled her face off, right, to do whatever it took. If she would have said to me, hey, listen, and she wasn't a real estate, but if she would have said to me, hey, listen, if any one of you holds me accountable to getting listings, I'd be on my big wheel driving to friends' houses going, you guys wanna sell your house? I would do whatever it took, right or wrong, guys. That is how you create discipline. You get people around you to create structure to actually follow through. That's why AA is a good meeting to go to. Jenny Craig is a good meeting to, like all these group things that we do where there's accountability built in, that's how you win. All right, so let's keep jamming. That's the 100K program. All of you should do it. Let's keep going. See that? Send that to your entire email database this week. Send that to your entire email database this week. Hey, if a buyer wanted to offer you 15% more than your Zestimate, would you sell between now and the end of the year? You're gonna find some people that go, holy crow, you mean someone would pay me 15% more? Now you might go, oh, but in my market, buyers are only paying 7% more. If a buyer's willing to pay you 7% more, then change the number. Does that make sense? But the key is the 15% and the word if. If a buyer was willing to do this, would you sell your home? If, right? What if you only got them 10% above? Most homeowners would be pretty stoked, yes or no? But all I'm really trying to do is find the ones where their circumstances are changing. I'm just trying to flush out where are the circumstances changing. Click, click, dude. I'm gonna look and see if I can look at it and click. That's another good one. Click, click again. That's another good one. You guys want pictures of these? Nah, I'll give it to you guys. Do you guys want the slides? Okay, we'll keep jamming. So why should you guys do this? Why should you do 10 text messages a day, every day between now and the end of the year? Why should you do it? Why should you send those emails? Why should you communicate with your clients and your sphere? You wanna know why? Because who's ever closest to the client wins, and more importantly, they're all trying to do it every day. And notice Zillow's not even on the list because Zillow already has your client. Do you guys understand that? and my friends at homes.com. Wouldn't it be funny if they was like Holmes? What's up, Holmes? Right? Like, I think that would actually be way more funnier than homes.com, but that's me. David Mila is a friend of mine. He's the president of the company. Opendoor, Upnest, Orchard, Realtor.com, Zoocasa, they are all spending a fortune to get your client to go to their website. Every new seller lead you've ever generated is a homeowner who is abandoned by their agent. Do you guys get that? Oh yeah, we bought like 16 years ago. Oh, that's great. So you guys think, yeah, we're thinking about selling and I was referred by a friend. Wait a minute, you have an agent. Someone sold you that house 16 years ago. No, because you know what? In that report that I told you guys to read, one of the interesting takeaways was, after the transaction was closed, how often have you talked to your agent? Never. That was the top answer. Never. So we fell in love, we had a baby called your new house, and I abandoned you. That's what it's like. You guys get it? Turn to your neighbor and say, he's talking to you. All right, let's keep jamming. So we also need great marketing, yes or no, guys? Yes? So, read that out loud. Now, I like the word tribe. It's how I create my tribe. So I'm gonna show you guys some strategies for you to create your tribe. But first of all, here's what you gotta get. Great marketing is like lasagna. Any Italians in the house? Anybody identify as an Italian? I'm married into the family of Antonio and Yole Belmonte, and the first time I was at their house, they were making homemade raviolis and like spinning pizzas, right? They are hardcore Bostonian Italians, first generation. My wife, Catalina, right, little Italiano. If you have Italian food and they go, here's your lasagna, and it has some cheese and one layer of noodles and red sauce, you're like, that's not lasagna. Lasagna is about what? The layers, right? And I was in Mexico recently at a buddy of mine's place, and they made 19-layer lasagna. And I was like, shit, that's good marketing. Now, what do I mean by layers? Layers means you gotta do a whole lot of things. You can't just rest on one thing. I'm really friendly with my friends at our kids' school. Great, there's 3 sales a year. What else are you gonna do? I only like calling expired listings. Outstanding. There's 15 deals a year. What else are you going to do? Email newsletter, over-index on calls, everybody receives a CMA, create content for clients, minimum 1 mailer a month to my marketplace, for your very best unique gifting strategies, 2 community events, 1 client appreciation, and that's just for your database. That's just for your database, my friends. Are you doing all that stuff already, yes or no? I can't hear you. Huh. So you want more referrals. Do you guys like direct mail? Do you? Okay, I love that, like, you're like, direct mail costs money. I don't like spending money. You know what's awesome about direct mail right now? The most recent stats show that the average consumer now gets less than 2 pieces of direct mail that are advertising per day. Only 2. I can remember when it was like 15, because everybody's doing Instagram and TikTok and social and YouTube. And guess what? When all realtors stop doing something, you never follow all realtors, because all realtors are dumb. You with me on this? Like the group called All don't sell any houses. Guess what the top 350,000 are doing? Direct mail. Not as the only thing, as one of many things that they do. So, for example, look at this piece. My client Tom Toole, not too far from here in Philadelphia, right? He would say to you, he sends to his entire database and to his geographic farm, right? There we go, girl power. I love you. Got to show me that. Every quarter, he sends the 3 same pieces modified for the spring market, for the fall market, for the summer market, for the winter market, right? And I know I mixed up that order. So he does the same, top 10 things to do in summer, top 10 things to do in fall, top 10 things to do in winter, top 10 things to do in spring. You guys get the idea? Here's how many homes we sold in the spring. Here's how many homes we sold in the summer. Here's how many homes we sold in the fall. Same exact thing. You guys got the concept. That is the single best direct mail piece on the planet. Single best direct, just read the right side. Look at the data. Look at the data. By the way, that's an active QR code, so please don't hit it. So 13,000 mailed, 282 people went like this. They're like, trash, trash, bill, bill, trash, trash. You know when you're sitting at the mailbox? Trash, trash, bill, bill, trash, trash, bill, bill. Huh? QR code? Boop. Oh, yeah, I want to know how much my home is worth. Now, why that direct mail piece works, my friends? No agent's face on it, non-branded. The backside of it is just all black, or it's all orange, and in very thin writing, if your home is currently listed for sale, this is not a solicitation to list your listing. My DRE number, blah, 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 right? All that stuff. Got it? Yes or no? You guys got it? Okay, David, you just pointed a finger at me, but I didn't know what it meant. Cool, that's what I thought. Okay, awesome. So you ready? This piece, 10 listings sold, 2 buyer sales from sending that piece out to his geographic farm, which is about 13,000 homes. The second time he did it, which was in orange, he cut out 3,000 where there was not a lot of movement, not a lot of turnover, and he just focused on the areas where there was 2 or 3 or 4% turnover, and he's scooping up listings, and the funny part is, every time he sends it, he's still getting the same result. Should you do that, yes or no? Yes or no? Well, I sent it to 15 people and nobody clicked on it. 13,000, 10,000, 5,000, 1,000, 150. Does this make sense? It has to be in larger numbers. Look at that letter. Who thinks, he's from New York, so I'm gonna go with yes. Yeah, he's in like Syracuse. That's still in New York, right? Okay, just checking. Yes, now ready? Whatever, so remember on the back it says, here's my DRE number, here's, like you have to do all that stuff. So he had this approved by his association because he's a very litigious real estate agent. You with me? But he and his coach watched the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Remember when the QR codes were flying all over the TV? And he was like, I should do that on direct mail. Ah, interesting. So let's keep jamming. Remember those 70-year-olds that live in a 2-story house? You want to win with them with direct mail? Send it on a yellow notepad. Any other yellow notepad fans in the house besides me? I'm all about the yellow notepads. My dad, 78 years old, writes every seminar he does on a yellow notepad, right? It's just, it's that thank you very much, yellow notepad. I love you, man. I'm the same exact way. So here's the thing. That is written by a robot on a yellow notepad, and it's the same thing as a just sold card. Hey, we wanted to let you know we recently sold another home in an area. You know, we had 85 people come to the open house. We had 14 offers for the home. Only 1 new buyer is your neighbor, but today I've got 13 buyers that are looking to sell. If you or someone you know is interested, and guess what? They call. They call. I love this one. This is I have a buyer, but there's no inventory. Do you guys have that scenario ever? So he takes the map of where his buyer is interested, and then he puts a little red line around it and says, looking to buy a home in this exact area, $3 million, boom, double end of the deal. That is a killer piece. We sell a lot of real estate. Tom, I'm new, no one cares. Go to your manager and say, can I take all of the transactions and then acknowledge our team at Hoobie Doo Real Estate helped 265 people buy and sell real estate in the last 12 months, 6 months, whatever it is. Your name, your phone number, your face. Got it? All right. This is a killer direct mail piece. That's a direct mail piece. I know it's hard to see because of the lighting, but it's a blue postcard. Nearly 1 in 4 consumers plan to sell their home in the next 3 years, according to a recent Zillow survey of homeowners like you. Finally, some encouraging news. If you're one of the 23% of homeowners contemplating selling, the first step is to request a comprehensive home value report, and that's an active QR code, so I put a black or a blue dot on it. That is a killer direct mail piece. You guys with me on this? Oh, everyone's moving? 23% of people are gonna sell in the next? Oh, okay. Yeah, we were thinking about it too. That is the single best just sold card on the planet. Let me tell you what is really bad marketing. Listed and sold in 3 days with multiple offers. And you know what the seller says? You did nothing. But if you tell the story of what you actually did, hey, I met them 9 months ago at an open house. We sparked a connection. They told me they were thinking about selling, but they wanted to do some things to the property first. So I actually met with them, and we spent some time looking at where they should invest and where they shouldn't invest and what color schemes matter. And over the course of that 9 months, we established a wonderful relationship. And then when we got inside the 30-day mark, in week 1 I did this, and in week 2 I did that, in week 3 we did this, and then in week 4 we did that. And here's the before and after photos of what we did. And now the consumer's like, wait a minute, look up here. I've been living in my house for like 25 years. And they look around and they go, this looks lived in. Right or wrong, guys? Have you guys been in some houses and you're like, is this the best it could be? Right? And you know you gotta fix it up, you gotta stage it, you gotta get it ready. This piece speaks to that person that says, I know I need to do all those things, and you know how to do it. You've done it, you've given me the proof, I'm calling you. All right, let's keep jamming. That's one of my favorite pieces. Now, if you read that, you're gonna understand why it's one of my favorite pieces. This is a mailer folded into a note card with a birthday cake stamp on it, sent to the entire community right before the open house that she's doing on Saturday. Do you guys get this? Hi neighbor, my name is Eileen Rivera. I wanted to reach out and invite you to a premier open house at 3933 Rose Avenue this Saturday, April 30th. Please stop by and say hello. I also wanted to apologize for the enormous traffic jam my marketing created for this open house. Do you guys get what she's saying here? Right? Sorry about the parking difficulties this may cause. Please enjoy a cup of coffee on me in your convenience. And she threw in a $5 Starbucks gift card that she bought at Costco for like $2 each. Make sense? And guess what? They all come walking in with the letter. We're thinking about selling too. Is this gonna sell? Right? We want the neighbors at our open houses. Yes or no, guys? Okay, that's my favorite piece. Look at it. Look at it. See the DRE number in the bottom left? You can't make this shit up. The balls you have to send, or not, based upon what kind of what's going on down there. That's a real direct mail piece. Now, if you know your customer, you know he had a bunch of single ladies call. Hi, I'm thinking about listing my house. I'm into relatively hairy dudes with no hair and a beard. Those legs look delicious. Hey, I guess know your audience, right? But I do love this line from one of my heroes, Louis Lamar, who said, all creativity comes from sex, passion, and desire. That is not one of my clients. But one of my clients sent me that, and I'm like, this guy, Todd, is gonna become very famous because I'm gonna show this all over the world. I love this quote, and now the clicker's not working again. Thank you. All right, so let's transition. How's your follow-up? I don't have any. That's a good way to describe it. How's your on a scale from 1 to 5, 5 is you follow up until they list, rent, buy, or die, and 1 is you really need help with follow-up. Show me on fingers. Where are you at? Show me on fingers. What was that, dude? You were like, there was like some confusion there. Like, okay, I'm lying to myself. I'm a little bit better, no, but I'm not that good. Maybe it's more like this. So I want you to write down the following. Will you write down, and don't let anybody else see this, but write it down in your notes. Write down how many closings you'll have this year. How many transactions will you close this year? Write down the number, but don't let anybody see it. Dude over there with the blue jacket. How many are you gonna close? Yeah. Yeah. How many? Nobody actually closes an even number. How many are you actually gonna close? Where are you at so far for the year? How many? You're at 20 and you're like, I got no more closes between now and the end of the year. Okay, so first of all, give that guy a nice round of applause. Congratulations. Now, I'm about to inspire you by getting you slightly pissed. Every one you sold, you lost 4. Every one you sold, and he's like, yep, and you know what I'm saying to you. Every one that you sold, you lost 4. So I'd like you to figure out how much money you left on the table so far this year. He sold 20, he lost 80. That's the truth. I'll show you the data. So whatever you sold, you lost 4. You sold 1, you lost 4. You guys want to see the math? You wanna see it? Okay, so check this out. What we know is most agents and teams fail to follow up at the level that they should or could, and what most don't understand is only 8% of the people you meet in the first 30 days go under contract. So if you met 100 people that were gonna buy a house, 100 people said, I'm buying a house, only 8% of them bought in the first 30 days. 27% bought in the first 90 days. And then look at this big chunk. 33% of them bought in months 4 through 6, and then another 22%, and then another 10%. Now here's the bummer. You guys ready? Most quit there. Most quit there. Most get busy because now I'm working with the deal, I'm negotiating the deal, I close the deal, I'm going to the Bahamas, I come back hungover, I got no leads, but I didn't even look inside my CRM of all the people that I had generated but didn't follow up on, and that vicious cycle continues. But what's more interesting is the median time right now, the cumulative conversion rate over time is you meet a client and in 115 days on average, they write a contract. 115 days is the average right now. So you meet someone and you're like, oh my God, this is gonna be awesome and he's so great, we totally jam. And then they ghost you once, you start drinking heavily. You with me? And then, I'm just gonna watch television, Netflix, get caught up, text him again, he doesn't respond. You're no longer prospecting. Do you guys get that? Every day you choose to not make calls, to not follow up, to not do the things you know you do that make you money, you're putting off getting paid. Really, it's not 115 days, because in New York, it might take 60 days to close the transaction. You're now talking about every time you don't do something, 140, 50 days from now, you're not gonna get paid. Can you afford to do that? Are any of you in the room married that you're aware of? Raise your hands if you're married. Raise your hands if you're married, really high. Go home and tell your spouse, hey, you know what I learned today? If I don't make my phone calls and do my marketing today at 115 days, we're broke. What's your spouse gonna say? Oh, that explains it. You know, poor, 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 rich. Poor, 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 rich. Poor, 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 hey honey, can I borrow some money for taxes? Like, that's a very typical real estate agent because of the lack of discipline, making their calls, sending the texts, and more. So look at this. The reason why I know the 4, so this is just, we were doing like cohorts of clients where we'd say, let's take like 10 clients in 10 cities that generate a lot of leads, and this particular client, Jamie, 4,416 leads in 90 days. Buying Zillow leads, Realtor.com leads, open house leads, call-in leads, referrals, everything, right? So they converted, as you can see, 91 transactions from the 4,416 leads. This woman sells very typically 500 transactions a year. You can see the size of her sales team, and she is an active agent. But what we did, what was interesting, is we said, okay, now we're standing here today. Let's go back a year. And look, how many leads did you guys generate that quarter back a year from now? And we saw that you guys closed 91 transactions. Congratulations. 2.1% conversion. Her average sales price is $800,000. So $800,000 dollars in closings times 91 transactions. That's a lot of money, right or wrong. But you know what's a lot of money? Look to the right. The ones that they missed, 419 of the leads that they generated bought a home from someone else. Look at your buddy right in the eye and say, he's so talking to you right now. Now, do you all remember the conversation we started with this morning when I said to you, how's your work ethic? And some of you were like, 5. I think you're lying. Now, I don't think you're actually losing 4, because not everybody's gonna vibe with us, you know what I mean? But I think you're definitely losing 2. 2 people you vibed with, you jammed with, they liked you, you liked them, but you didn't follow up and they bought from somebody else. You guys with me? And then 2 people that should have bought with you, they bought from somebody else. That's what's going on right now. So it begs the question, what am I really saying? You can do better. Yes or no, guys? It used to say, and it was kind of mean, I would say, you suck at follow-up. And someone was like, I can't believe you told me I suck at follow-up. I'm like, well, you suck at follow-up. So I made it more positive. You can do better. You can do better. Ready? So should you have a schedule, potentially, that has follow-up built into it? What do you guys think? Because if it's not on your schedule, it doesn't exist. Right? Ladies in the room, ladies, say aye. When you're walking out of the hair salon, you guys with me on this? You're walking out of the hair salon. You go like this. Hey, I'll just call you whenever I'm ready next. What do you all do? You schedule an appointment on the spot, yes or no? You schedule an appointment on the spot because you know if you don't, it's gonna take a while for you to get in. It's gonna screw up, and they're gonna see the gray hairs and all the stuff you don't want. So the other thing I say to people all the time is never, ever, ever hang up without booking the next appointment. Never hang up without booking the next appointment. Never hang up without booking the next appointment. Oh my God, this has been such a delightful conversation. I'm so excited that you guys are thinking about selling your home in the spring. Why don't we set up now a January pre-selling strategy session? A January pre-selling strategy session. So in January, you guys gonna be around? You gonna be around? Cool. So do you wanna do it at the beginning of the month, middle of the month, end of the month? When do you wanna do it? Middle of the month, that's good timing, because that could give us more than enough time to do everything we need to do to get the home on the market by March to optimize your sale. So you wanna do it at the beginning of the week, in the middle, or the end of the week? When do you wanna do it? Like, you wanna do it like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? You wanna do it Friday, Saturday, Sunday? You wanna do it on Monday? I like how you roll. So Monday would be the 17th of January in 2024. I've already got a 10 o'clock, a 2 o'clock, and a 5:30. Can you guys take 4 o'clock, or do you wanna do it later in the evening? How do you think a consumer feels when they're talking to a real estate professional who already has a meeting 90 days out? You know what they say? This girl's got it going on. This guy's got red hair. He knows what he's doing. That's what they say. You know they love us, right? You know they used to burn us by the stake, like gingers? We were like burned by the stake, but we got them. We got them. Nobody cares. I love you. See, one of my longtime clients. You got the idea? You got the idea? That's how you're gonna follow up. You're gonna absolutely make sure that you do not ever hang up without saying, okay, why don't we talk in the next 2 months? Let's go ahead and schedule a meeting. I'll send you a Microsoft email note, whatever it is. I'll put it in the calendar. And now guess what? You wake up every day and you're like, look at all these appointments I have. Look at all these people I gotta follow up on. Does that sound like a better strategy than your current strategy, yes or no? Okay, do me a favor, look your buddy right in the eye and say, no more by memory. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, I gotta remember this. Who has ever laid in bed at night and said to yourself, I gotta remember this, I gotta remember this, I gotta remember this, and then you fall asleep and you wake up the next day, you're like, I got nothing on my schedule today. Oh wait, I said, right? Like we've all been there. All right, let's keep jamming, you ready? So what's your new commitment on follow-up? What's your new commitment? Never hang up without, hey, it sounds like you guys want to do something in the next 12 months. Why don't we schedule a time to meet in the next 90 days to review the market, to review where interest rates are, to just make sure that we're aligned. Don't start fixing up anything in the house yet until we meet. So let's get together in 90 days. Boom. Guys got it? Well, we don't want to move until we die. Well, when would that be? Let's go to the Google Death Clock. I've got 5 questions I need you to answer. It looks like you're dying in 90 days, so let's meet today. All right. So the shift is the gift, yes or no? Yes or no? All these crazy things that are happening in the marketplace, for people like us, this is an opportunity, yes? So let's have some fun. Can you finish that? The only constant is? The only constant is change. The only constant is change. So the DOJ stuff, the NAR stuff, buyer agency stuff, new paperwork, new agreements, all this stuff. I gotta change, I gotta be more disciplined, never hang up without booking the next appointment, right? All this stuff, The only thing that is constant in life is change. Do you guys remember that company? Who remembers going on Friday nights and like walking in and going, I'm here every Friday night, there's nothing to see. I've seen every movie. You guys remember that experience? And then who did they get disrupted by? Oh yeah, these guys, right? See, the only constant is change. Oh, remember like having to drop the DVD back in, or like the CD, and if it was a VHS and you put it back in and it wasn't properly rewound, they charged you $2. Remember that shit? Of course they got screwed, right? Netflix was like, stream it all, just give me like $15 a month, and they ran a SaaS operation and they cremated it. Who remembers this device? Oh, I still have one. I framed it. It's right next to my old little video thing. What were the things we did a million years ago, the little video device? It's the flip video camera, right? Tristan gave me one. I was like, yes, my flip video camera. Did anybody see the Netflix special on the guys that created this company? It was unbelievable when all of a sudden it was at the Nerd Fest in Northern California when Steve Jobs gets up and goes, it's a phone and it's your email and it's all your music. And just like that, the company on the left went from a $4 billion market cap, lost distribution with AT&T, bankrupt in 18 months. They controlled the market and they were gone in 18 months. The only constant is what? Change. It's evolve or die, people. I'm going on a listing presentation this weekend in Long Island. It's a home that hasn't been on the market for close to 45 years. It's a wonderful couple. They're in their mid-80s. They've owned the home for 45 years. What are some of the things I should show up prepared to deliver to them so they understand that I will not only carefully curate a beautiful experience for them, I will also walk them through every step of the process to ensure a great transaction with the least amount of stress possible. What recommendations would you make?
Going into a listing presentation, especially for a home with such sentimental value, it's key to convey trust, competence, and empathy. You might want to start by demonstrating your deep understanding of the local real estate market, showing them data on recent sales of similar homes in Long Island. Bring a detailed marketing plan that explains how you will showcase their home.
Or you could just make shit up and show up blind. How many of you get what I'm talking about? By the way, that's a feature that was only released 30 days ago. On Monday, the OpenA conference existed. By the end of Tuesday, I was sent 12 different new plans, 12 different new companies. Hey, Tom, would you like to invest in our new company based upon yesterday's change to AI? And some of you don't even have ChatGPT on your phone. How many of you are married? Let's go a different direction again, will you?
Of course, we can switch gears. What else would you like to discuss?
I've been married to my wife for 30 years. She's a crazy Italian. I have a tendency to be a little more stoic. I'm looking for 15 ways to have her understand how much I deeply adore, love, and appreciate her without ever having to say something like that. What recommendations do you have?
It's wonderful you want to show your love in such heartfelt ways. You could start with simple daily gestures, like making her a cup of coffee in the morning exactly how she likes it, or leaving little notes in places she'll find them throughout the day. Actions often speak louder than words. Taking care of something she typically handles, like a household chore or errand, without her having to ask.
How are you using AI? How many of you are with me on this? What's shocking is some of you have ChatGPT 3 screens over because someone told you to download it. Mine is Instagram, Slack, email, ChatGPT, Loom for open, for my AI, and it's all within thumb's reach. And all I'm doing now when I'm in my car, when I'm not on the phone talking to a buddy, you know what I'm doing? I'm talking to ChatGPT. hey, I'm thinking about writing a new book. I think there's gonna be a revolution in the real estate industry around this buyer agency thing. Could you take 30 seconds right now, scour the internet for every news article, tell me the biggest concerns and worries real estate professionals could have about this, and what should I be writing about or producing videos on to ensure my friends and my clients that they're going to be okay? Do you guys get it? It's an enhancer. Do you guys get it? It's an enhancer. So, sorry, click, click. That's 120 tools I need you to memorize and know how to work with tonight. Just take a photo of it really quick, get the 120 out of the way, do it as fast as you can. I'm kidding, I'm kidding, I'm kidding. Ready? Before you get overwhelmed with what I just showed you, there was a time when Ask Jeeves and Earthlink.net and AOL were search engines. You guys remember? And then what is the only search engine we use now? How many websites are there in the world? How many .coms are there? Hundreds of millions. Go to your search. Look at your history. You go to 12. DoorDash, the internet on the MLS, you only go to 12 websites. How many apps do you have on your phone that tell you you need to exercise less and eat more? I was going through my phone, I'm like, I have like 7 apps on there that are like health and vitality related. How many apps do you need to remind you exercise more and eat less, right? The reality is, if you look at your phone, if you just look, your thumb, that's where all the action is on your phone. That's where the apps that you use the most are. Well, the same thing will happen with AI. The same thing. You'll get 1 or 2 that you use and you're like, this is all I need. It's gonna enhance me. It's gonna enhance my listing presentation. It's gonna enhance my buyer presentation. It's gonna help me negotiate. You guys with me on this? ChatGPT, I'm working with a buyer right now. Here's the situation. They're saying this, the seller's saying this, the other agent's saying this. What are 3 or 4 principles I should be thinking about as I negotiate this deal? It tells you everything. How many of you are gonna start using that? I'm curious, raise your hands. Right? ChatGPT, right? Pretty blonde right there. You with me? You got it? Okay, cool. All right, so let's keep jamming. So the question is, ready? If ChatGPT or Tom AI or all these other wonderful solutions, what you have to get is they're gonna do 80 to 85% of the stuff that you used to do, it's gonna be done automatically behind the scenes. 80 to 85%, which means, look up here, your superpower where you're never gonna get taken out is your smiling eyes, the way you communicate, the fact that you can communicate effectively with somebody face to face. It's the way you show up with your charm. It's your energy. It's if they're a driver, you become a driver. If they're a little amiable, you're not like, listen, motherfucker, listen, right? No, you're like, okay, well, let's work on this together. If they're a high C on the disc profile, you're like, I've created 27 spreadsheets for you to review. And they're like, oh, I love you. And that becomes our superpower, yes or no, guys? And some of you don't even know what I was just talking about. So how are you going to learn all this? How are you going to learn? Is the audio gonna work? I think it's going to. These guys are ready. This guy's a genius. This is how we learn in 2023. Watch.
All right, today we're gonna talk about how we can find out and how much we can find out and what it takes to get there. So first we have to decide how much do we wanna find out. So let's say in this case, I wanna find out at a level of 7, okay? So I find that level on my graph, and I come horizontally to my gradient line. Where it intersects with my gradient line, I'm gonna come straight down to where it intersects with my fuck around line. Now there is gonna tell me how much I have to fuck around to find out what I need to find out. See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're gonna find out. And also, if you stay down here and you never fuck around, you'll never find out. So I hope this lesson is helpful. Thank you.
So I want to be clear. I didn't tell you you had to F around, but do you get the point?
Got the point.
How old are you, my dear?
I'm not telling you.
She said she's not telling me. Okay, how often do you have sex? She's like, okay, I'm 62. I'm 62. So what if I told you I played that for my 96-year-old mother-in-law, and she laughed her ass off, and she said, you didn't show that to your boys before they went to college, did you? And I said, she gets it, right? She understands even at 96 that the only way we learn something is through experimenting, right? You get ChatGPT, you pay the 20 bucks a month, you hit that button, you start saying, hi ChatGPT, I don't even know what to talk with you about. And it says, well, what are some of the things you're working on today? What would you like to explore? I don't know. How old is the Earth? Like, you could just have any conversation you want, but you want to know the number one question you should say to ChatGPT? Would you please ask me up to 20 questions, one at a time, to understand me, my mindset, my ethos, my business goals, my ambitions, what motivates me, so you can help me design how I want to operate my business in life. Go. You know what ChatGPT is going to go? So tell me about you. And it's going to ask you 20 questions in a row. You have this dialogue. It now knows everything about you. So every time you get on there, guess what? It's like, what's shaking, bacon? I know you got 2 kids. We need to work, like, it knows you. Does that make sense? So here's what I'm telling everybody. You want my 8-month prediction? Do you want my 8-month prediction, yes or no? I can quit early and just bail. Rudy, have I already been paid? I'm just kidding, I'm kidding. Here's my 8-month prediction. In less than 8 months, you will all have your own personal AI. Think Jarvis, Tony Stark. That is a red outfit. Will you stand up, please? Girl, don't look shocked. You can't wear that much red and then look at me like, are you talking to me? Can we give the pretty lady in the red a big round of applause? That is a lot of red. Yes. Wouldn't it be funny if she was wearing like blue lipstick? Just to throw it off, she'd be red, white, and blue. All right. So in less than 8 months, you're gonna have your own personal AI, and your own personal AI is going to prospect for you. It's gonna follow up. It's gonna set appointments. It's gonna draft offers. It's gonna help in negotiations. It's gonna close the transaction. It'll even send out the closing gift based upon the profile that it discovers by looking at that person you just sold a house to, their Facebook page. Welcome to the future of efficiency, right or wrong, guys? And all of this is already in the works. This is not like, ooh, someday it's all gonna change. This shit's all happening right now. Right now. Now, you guys know one of the biggest problems you have is booking appointments, right or wrong? And following up on leads, yes or no? So watch this video and let's look at what's possible.
As I said earlier, our vision for our assistant is to help you get things done. It turns out a big part of getting things done is making a phone call. You may want to get an oil change schedule, maybe call a plumber in the middle of the week, or even schedule a haircut appointment. We think AI can help with this problem. So let's go back to this example. Let's say you want to ask Google to make you a haircut appointment on Tuesday between 10 and noon. What happens is the Google Assistant makes the call seamlessly in the background for you. So what you're going to hear is the Google Assistant actually calling a real salon to schedule the appointment for you. Let's listen.
So how can I help you? Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd. Sure, give me 1 second. Sure, what time are you looking for around? At 12 p.m. We do not have a 12 p.m. available. The closest we have to that is a 1:15. Do you have anything between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m.? Depending on what service she would like. What service is she looking for? Just a woman's haircut for now. Okay, we have a 10 o'clock. 10 a.m. is fine. Okay, what's her first name? The first name is Lisa. Okay, perfect. So I will see Lisa at 10 o'clock on May 3rd. Okay, great. Thanks. Great. Have a great day. Bye.
That video is 6 years old. That technology's been around for a long time, guys. It's 6 years old. Let me show you a company that I'm now a part of. So in beta, what we have now is an AI following up on leads, calling old leads, calling past clients, calling expired listings, calling for sale by owners, calling any prospect you want. And you'll hear, because this is, by the way, we've been doing this now for 9 weeks. This is about 7 weeks old, so you'll hear the latency issue. Watch.
Michael,
Hello.
hey, how's it going? This is Jamie. Thanks for taking my call. I saw that you were potentially interested in purchasing a home in the next few months, and you had requested some info through Facebook. I know you're busy, so I just wanted to ask you a few quick questions so we can help you out. Would that be okay?
Yeah, no, that'd be great. Thanks.
Awesome. I'm happy to help. Well, it looks like you were interested in a nice single-family home, right? How many bedrooms and bathrooms were you looking for?
In 4 minutes, it schedules a showing appointment for you. And then it automatically sends to your calendar and to their calendar via text or email, here is your confirmation for the appointment. Then the night before, it sends a text again and says, hey, we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow at 124 Banana Street at 4 o'clock as promised. If anything has changed, please let us know. Now, here's what's great. That little solution we built is like 9 weeks old. It's a baby, and it's currently outproducing salespeople 2 to 1. And I had a friend of mine say to me recently, I don't know if I would ever use that. I've got 4 people on my team that make phone calls for us, and I say, oh yeah, do they ever sleep with each other, get sick, get hungover, smoke crack at the office ever? And they're like, all of that. And I'm like, right. The AI is 27 cents a minute and can call 400,000 people in your phone at the same time. Welcome to efficiency, right or wrong, guys. Not available for any of you to buy, just showing you what's going on. Just showing you what's happening right now. This is the future of real estate. So, what are you thinking about? Tell your buddy right now, what are you thinking about? What's on your mind? Tell your buddy. What are you thinking about? Did they have it in Spanish? Spanish, Portuguese, French, German, Italian, Hebrew, 1000%, brother. I had clients all over the world. Tell your buddy, what are you thinking about? Come on, I want to hear it. What are you guys thinking about? What are you thinking about? Click, click. What are you thinking about? Tell your buddy. What are you thinking about? What are you thinking about? All right, so let's have some fun. I got 15 minutes. Who's got a question? Anything goes. What's on your mind? Sir, real loud and then I'll repeat it. Real loud. Yeah. So currently not for sale. I have 120 people on beta testing it. February of this year at the Elite, next year I'll release 500 opportunities to like coaching clients. And I'm a start small, do it right, have the product be good. There's another guy that's in the marketplace who's doing the same thing, already selling it to people, and people are already saying this is a piece of shit. Because he built it on Tuesday, started selling it on Wednesday. You know what I'm talking about? You guys see all this stuff. I'm a slow down, do it right, be patient. The 120 people I have, all of them have my cell phone. They're texting me and going, holy shit, this is incredible. Or, hey, the FSBO script needs to be adjusted. The expired script is good, but in my market, if I had this adjustment, we feed the adjustment, right back to work. So there'll be 10 people that try and sell you on this between now and the end of the year. I'm not one of them. I'm gonna make it so badass, and then you'll know. Probably June of next year. I think that's how long it's gonna take. Here's what we're finding. You guys wanna hear something interesting? You know who loves it? Millennials. They go like this. Are you an AI? Well, yes, my name is Jamie, and I am an AI, and I work for Tom Ferry. How did you know? And then you know who really loves it? People in their 70s, 80s, and 90s. They're like, well, hi, darling, how have you been? Tell me about, and the problem is at 27 cents a minute, the calls were going 30 minutes long. So we had to put in some like, well, it sounds like you're lonely. Why don't I call you in a month and just check in and say hi? And that's what the AI is doing, right? But it's weird, like the boomers in the middle, they're like, this is weird. Are you a robot calling me right now? Is this legal? Like, there's something about the boomer gen that is just like, I don't know about this, but most of the rest of us, and by the way, you wanna know why I know this is gonna work? It's because on the next election cycle, which is starting up pretty quickly here, you're gonna get a phone call. Hey, man, it's Joe Biden. I just want to check in. Come on, I want to make sure we got your vote. You're gonna vote for me, right? Come on now, come on, hold on. But hey, right afterwards, it's huge. You're gonna get this call from Trump and you're gonna be like, you mother, and he's gonna go, oh, you're from New York, I love you, right? And like, you're gonna have all this interesting dialogue. Welcome to the future of politics, right or wrong. But my forecast is in 2 years or less, the FTPC, the telephone police, are gonna change it where it has to call and say, hi, my name is Jamie, I'm a robot, and I'm calling from Tom Ferry's. We'll have to like, let people know. That's why you gotta be careful when new technology comes out, find out, fuck around. But for me, I don't sell it until it's right, okay? All right, other questions, what's on your mind? Anything goes. Sir. I'm not using Air.ai. We built this on our own. Yeah, Air.ai is a cool solution. 4 guys living in Mark Zuckerberg's original house, which is kind of hysterical. That's part of their pitch. So Air.ai is a solution that all of you can look at if you wanted to build your own as an example. It's $100,000 to license it to start. Then you have to have multiple, let's just call it, data scientists and engineers that know how to build a chatbot. You with me? So that's why I kind of think the vast majority of people won't. The method of technology is exactly the same. It's Google Voice, ChatGPT 4, now 5, Twilio, and some of our secret sauce. Does that make sense? So really anybody could build it if you understand what I'm talking about, right? The guy that is my partner never got laid in high school. Not a chance. And only went to college for 1 year, failed and dropped out because he's an engineer. He's a programmer, right? Super smart guy. Other questions? What's on your mind? Yeah, in 2 years, when the AI is making phone calls and answering, yeah. Do the agents become a novelty if like, hey, it's Tom, I'm a human, what's going on? Yeah, it actually could become a novelty, we'll see. But I think what's gonna happen is, think about this, like how many practical applications there are for this today. Follow up on my appointments, follow up on my leads, schedule my showing appointments with non-block box homes, right? Call the agent, schedule the, there's so many applications. Call my child at 8 o'clock in the morning and remind them to go to work. You're with me? It's gonna be bananas. Yes. I agree, but is I don't agree, but go ahead.
My bigger question is, are we going to be AI and nothing else? Isn't human factor is going to disappear?
AI, I got you. Okay, well, first of all, ready? So did you all see the movie Her? Anybody? The movie Her, it was a movie created about 8 or 9 years ago with Joaquin Phoenix, who fell in love with his phone and the AI. And I remember watching that and with my wife going, you know that's gonna happen in the future. Because AI has been worked on for 72 years. It's just finally become commercially viable for all of us to have ChatGPT on our phone, hit a button, have a conversation. You're all gonna do that, right or wrong, guys? It is, I have a 16-year-old. I'm pretty sure he's smoking weed every day and he's failing all of his classes. What are the single most important parenting advice I should have for that? Well, first of all, I'm sorry that he's smoking weed every single day, but here's what you should do. It's gonna revolutionize everything, but it's only going to do 80 to 85%. 15 to 20% will be those of us that know how to communicate, connect, build relationships, and then use AI as an enhancement to make sure that everybody's taken care of. The spice is you and me, baby, 1000%. Now, what's gonna be funny is, all of you that are really smart, the next time you go on a listing appointment and someone says, well, what do you do that's different than other agents in the market? You go, well, I'll give you an example. And you go to ChatGPT and you say, hey, remember that conversation we had about Phil and Mary at 1234 Banana Street? Could you share with them the marketing plan we created? And it just starts on your phone. ChatGPT is now talking to your seller. What's your seller gonna say? Everyone else that came over did that? What do you guys think? How do you do that? Can you show me that? All this and you can list my house? It's a massive degree of separation right now, but not for long, Okay, I got 5 more minutes.
You actually have 20 minutes of Q&A now.
Oh, awesome. I love Q&A. Okay, anything goes. Anything goes. What's on your mind? And I'll come to you. Yes, real loud. So for marketing, where are you from originally? Actually, which part? Okay, love it. I'm in Sydney a lot. New South Wales. Okay, so I'm coming over to you. So for marketing, also known as marketing in the US, but for marketing.
Mike.
What would you say is the most useful AI to improve our marketing right now?
Well, marketing in text, marketing in voice, marketing in video. Which one do you want to do? Video. Okay, 2 things. Check out an app called 11 Labs, spelled 11 E-L-E-V-E-N Labs. 11 Labs. 11 Labs, watch this, guys. What if I told you, do you know when you meet a buyer and you're like, hey, I want to send that person a personal video. So you go like this. Hey, Phil, it's really nice to meet you at the open house at 123 Banana Street. Thank you so much for coming by. Or just generic. Hey, Phil, so great to meet with you. As promised, I wanted to just make a connection with you. Or someone goes to your website and they register and you're like, hey, thank you so much for coming to my website, Phil. You can record that once. 11 Labs will basically mirror your face, your tone, your words, and then you just say, not Phil, Mary, not Mary, Jim, and it will do the same exact video with their name and auto send it. That's valuable, right or wrong? So you say, here are all my follow-up videos. I want to have 8 of them. You pre-record all of them. You upload it into your CRM. It takes the name. It sends the video, personalized. Does that make sense? 11 Labs also will do things like this. You know when you watch somebody that's doing a video and you can tell that their eyes aren't looking at the camera lens? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? You can literally go in and hit one button and they'll take your eyes from here to there. It's valuable, right or wrong? Right? 11 Labs will also allow you, once you've recorded a couple of videos on there, you could write the entire script and it will just have you do the script. Welcome to 2023, people. Now some of you are like, I don't like video. No one cares. Okay, Rudy, question.
Tom, I'm actually here to help. David's on your left, I'm to your right, but I got a question for you, Tom. I'm interested. It's a personal one. What's your and maybe I missed it because I've been hosting for the majority of the day. What's your 5-year plan?
I have a 20-year plan. Okay. So I wrote a 20-year plan in 2015, and you will appreciate this. At that time, I was already the #1 coach right here, Australia, Europe, yada, yada, yada. And you know when I say that, it's not me. It is 237 coaches. It's 400 people inside my company. It's 27 different speakers. It's like I just get to do it too. Does that make sense? It's a we thing. So in 2015, my wife and I said in 20 years, we want to be living in Jackson Hole. We want to be married for 43 years. Michael and Stephen at that point would be 33 and 35 years old, men of tremendous character, more inspired by the work that they do. We have projects we work on together, and they have their own independent thing because I don't want professional sons. I want them to have their own thing. The beginning of that letter, Rudy, is like, it's like 4 pages of like this love affair that I'm having with my wife. It's how proud I am of my boys and the things they do, the charities we're involved in, and then it goes into where we live, Jackson Hole, Newport Beach, Dallas, and I wrote all this in 2015, and everything on the document that I wrote, we have already achieved, except my wife and I aren't married 43 years yet. And my children are 24 and 22 versus 33 and 35. So I am a big, look up here, guys. Yeah, Rudy's mic's not working, somebody over there on the AV team. Here's the lesson I want you guys to think about.
Mike.
A mentor of mine who you have met or certainly worked with, a New York City guy named Seth Godin. Does anybody know who Seth Godin is? So for the rest of us, you should write down the name Seth Godin. Seth Godin is a prolific marketer. He's a beautiful writer. He's written like 30 books. He's one of the most distinguished author, writer, creators in terms of marketing. So I've gotten to know Seth over the years. I had him speak at one of my events, and he shared something that was interesting, kind of thinking about that question. He said there was a study in Munich, Germany at a university, and then the same thing at the University of Toronto. And what they did is they took random individuals, they just grabbed you and then took you into like the Black Forest in Munich, and they set you in this giant forest, and then they hid. So you couldn't be found, right? You couldn't see them. And the study was to try and figure out when people are in a situation where potentially life or death is there, only one of two things happen. And the study showed that 95% of the people, Rudy, walked in circles, and 5% of the people went like this. Okay, sunset, sunrise. I know which way is east and west. I have an idea of where I'm at. I'm either gonna go east or I'm gonna go west. Or they went, that's a giant mountain range. I can see a crevasse. That means there's gonna be rainfall coming off that. That means there's gonna be a river there. If there's a river there, then I can find the water. And if I find the water, I'm gonna get to a larger body of water. I'm gonna be okay. 5% of the people got a point of reference. In 20 years, my wife and I wanna be here. In 5 years, I wanna be in 30 states, right? Serving this many clients, doing this many orders. 5% of us do that. 95% of people walk in circles. Do me a favor, turn to your buddy and say, I think he's talking to you again. Does that make sense?
That makes all the sense in the world. Dave, you got anyone with a question over there?
Anyone got a question
I got one right over here. Ready?
Okay, so it's a little bit personal to my situation, but I think I can broaden it. So branding, I am on fire. I mean, I'm that person that can't walk into the supermarket. A little girl actually dressed as me for Halloween in my neighborhood this year. On fire. But I'm having a huge disconnect with like the follow-up and the distribution. So my question was, out of some of the different methods we talked about, the mailer, the Zestimate texting, if you had one to recommend that I go home or I go to my office right now and that one is the one I hit right away.
What result do you want to produce?
More listings. I'm really mostly just a listing agent, so more listings.
So she's well branded, she's well known. Do you wear those glasses all the time?
All different ones.
Oh, all different ones, but all, yeah. So like it's like the gal with the killer hair over here, right? You know how much easier, stand up, my dear, stand up. You know how much easier it is for her to brand herself? They're just like, oh my God, I love her hair. Here's $25,000, sell my house. My little brother has a Vizsla dog. A Vizsla dog, anybody? Like Rhodesian Ridgeback, very unique dog. That dog has garnered 15 transactions in 4 years. Because people go, oh my God, you have a Vizsla dog? I have a Vizsla dog. Oh my God, what kind of dog is that? What kind of dog is that? What do you do? What do you do? $25,000. Right? So she's already got that part down. Do the text messaging campaign. You will crush it. Because they already know you, they already like you. But what you want to do is start conversations by saying, hey, I was on Zillow the other day looking at properties in your neighborhood for a client, looked at your house, thought I'd just give you a quick snapshot of the Zestimate. I've got my opinion on this price. What do you think? Conversation starter. Does that make sense? Do 10 of those a day. I dare you. You will have so much business you will not know what to do with yourself. Got it? Give her a huge round of applause because that's great on the branding side. Okay, David, question.
So interesting enough, when you said, hey, I love your hair, here's $25,000 sell my house, her exact response was, I wish. What do you say to that?
Okay, so first of all, look up here, stand up. So I got a lot of friends. So can you do this? Take it off? Okay, you wish, because you know, like some of the girls know what I'm talking about. Like they just pop on a different wig all the time. So your hair is recognizable, but your marketing isn't. Your hair is recognizable, but your branding isn't. You follow me? How many videos do you publish per day? Give her the mic. I'm gonna take, based upon this, guys, watch my physiology. How many videos you shoot every day? She went. That means not 2 a day. How many videos do you publish?
I do about 1 a month right now.
Oh, 1 a month. Let me give you some advice. Don't do any. No, listen. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, YouTube. If you want to win, it's 2 to 3 per day. You want to win? Do you want to win?
Absolutely.
How long have you been in the business?
2 years.
2 years. Do you want to sell a shit ton of houses?
Absolutely.
Do you want to optimize that killer hair of yours?
Yes.
Okay. I would go on Instagram right now. I would take a photo of myself in my stories, and I would ask this question: do you think my hair is real? Yes or no? Poll, yes, no. And watch how many people go, yes, no. Then the next one would be, do you think my hair makes me a recognizable face in the marketplace? Yes, no. Yes, no. Whatever the answer, you don't even care. And then, hey, if you had a choice of listing your home for sale with someone with bad hair versus great hair, which one would you pick? Great hair, bad hair. They're gonna go, great hair. Right or wrong, guys? Hey, when you list your home with me, I cut off one ringlet and I give it to every one of my sellers. Sex, passion, and desire. That's marketing. Sex, passion, and desire. She has a very favorable feature. She's a beautiful woman. She's got great hair. But if you don't put yourself out there, no one knows. You make sense? Here's YouTube's algorithm. Post a video every day and you will blow up. Here's TikTok's algorithm. Post 6 videos every day. And if you just did this on TikTok, and her hair was just blah, 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 right? And you just did that to some cool song, it would get 10 million views. I'm dead serious, guys.
All right.
I'm dead serious.
Hey, Tom, let's have her do that now.
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 27.
Are you on TikTok?
I'm on it, but I'm not posting anything.
Well, okay, so why have it if you're not gonna post everything?
I know.
You with me?
Yes.
So here's the thing, ready? But Tom, I'm not like her. She's so pretty, she's so young. I'm 40 and old. Shut up. It doesn't matter. My client, Maxine Gellens, is 85 years old. She's the #1 agent in La Jolla, California. She's 85. She has pants older than you. Do you follow me? Definitely a dress or two. And here's the deal. She's on them. You know what she was doing for a while? Her and her team, they would go preview property together, and they would do preview property karaoke. And they would put on music that she had no idea what the songs were, because she's got her grandkids that would be like your age. And they put the phone there, and she's driving, and it's like Dre singing some song, and she's just going, and all of her friends go, your videos are so cute. All she knows is if I don't stay top of mind with the people that know, like, and trust me, I'm not in the game. Make sense? So, do you have your phone?
I do.
Okay, follow Jason Pantana. All of you, follow Jason Pantana. Follow Jason Pantana. He is one of my 27 speakers, one of our coaches. He does a ton of work on AI, social, video, like that's his skill. Follow Jason Pantana. You should also follow, let me think. You should also follow Marley. Marley, I gotta find her really fast here, hold on. Oh, follow Emily Terrell. Emily Terrell, Terrell, Emily Terrell. But you wanna find my gal Marley, who's actually who I thought you were when you walked in, because she has insane hair like you. And I'm gonna find her. Oh, you should also follow my client, Things Marley Does. She's crazy. And then I'm trying to find Marley from Miami. Oh my God, okay, hold on, I gotta walk around, I gotta show you this. Okay. Do you see my client, Marley? Do you see why when I looked over and saw you, I was like, holy shit, Marley's here, right? Beautiful gal like you. Look how many reels she's doing. She's doing reels every single day. 820 views, 511 views, 2,000. Look at, she made her hair look different, which is crazy, because typically it looks like that. Do you follow me? Yeah. Okay, so shut the front door, stop acting like a 27-year-old and create more content. Got it? I got it. Okay, give her a giant round of applause, everybody.
Any other questions on this side?
Questions? I'm coming right to you, girl.
Got one coming over to you. I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
David, I'm faster.
Yes, you are.
It's because we're both wearing good sneakers.
Hi, Tom. Thank you for your conference and your talk. So I'm new. I just got my license.
Are you a virgin?
Yes. literally, I mean, not really, in that aspect. And I'm talking to my family. I reach out to my friends, letting them know that I'm a realtor now. But
And they're all like, I don't want to do brain surgery with you. You're brand new.
they don't say that. They just basically it's like, oh, okay, the market is kind of, the interest rate is high. I'm looking into buying in a few months. And I already spoke with my team, and they said basically just tell them that, okay, the interest rate is high right now. However, if you purchase now, the value of your home, so you could refinance in a few months, but they're not buying it. So my question is,
How many, like, give me a range. How many people have you had a conversation with? Yeah, how many?
it's like 3.
Okay, so 3. All right. Are you married or single? You're single. Okay, this is a perfect example. Okay, first of all, anybody else in the room single? We got a hot prospect here. If you go both ways, ladies, this could be hot. Okay, just, who knows? Never ever saying that in the seminar again, ever, but that was kind of fun. Okay, so you ready? So you're single. What dating apps are you on?
None.
None. You're going organic? You're going, what do you show up to bars? Like, what do you do?
To be honest.
So she's not even in the game, which is the same thing you're doing with real estate right now. You're not even in the game. You talk to 3 people. If you're single and you want to meet people, what do you got to do? You got to be on a couple different apps, right? By the way, I have a client who's 72 years old, recently divorced, 72, on Match.com. 3 deals so far this year from Match.com. She's like, look, I have coffee, sometimes a glass of wine, occasionally get a listing out of this thing. This is awesome. She's like, and they're prospecting me, I'm a MILF, let's go, right? Like, it's hot. So if you wanted to find someone, would you ask 3 people out? Or do you think you might go with like 8, 10, 15 dates before you found somebody? What do you think?
I would say 10, 15.
Well, same thing applies to making phone calls to people that know, like, and trust you. So can I give you some advice? Okay, sit. Get ready to write. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to pick a path. I want you to pick a path. I want you to pick a path. Who's your title rep at New World? Who's your title rep?
Professional properties.
No, I said, who's your title rep at New World? You're getting a new title rep today. Who's your title rep? Rudy, who's her new title rep?
Catherine.
Okay, okay, get over here. One of you, girls, get over here. Just any one of you.
Go,
Come here.
Catherine.
I'm gonna help you. You ready? Da-da-da-da-da, you're the next contestant on The Title Rep is Right. Tell them your name.
Catherine Trent.
Okay, so Catherine, meet.
Wesdell or Wes.
Wisedell, by the way, Wisedell, cool name. Wes, super easy to remember, memorable, always good. Hair on point, great smiling eyes, beautiful face. She's got this. You know what she needs? Accountability. So this is your new accountability partner. You two are gonna text every day. Here's your job. She's gotta pick a path. I don't care what path you pick, but let's say, for example, she says, I like open houses. Then you're gonna do them 7 days a week. You with me? 7 days a week. You're gonna hold it open 7 days a week. If 2 people walk in, great. If 3 people walk in, great. If nobody walks in, make phone calls. Does that make sense? Now, I'm not saying you have to do that, but she's gotta pick a path. If I were you, do you need to make money or do you want to make money?
I need to make money.
So if I need to make money, I'm probably not gonna have you sit doing open houses 7 days a week, hoping and praying that someone shows up. What marketplace do you serve? Where do you want to sell houses?
Well, I'm in Westbury for now.
So Westbury, all right. So guess what? On Westbury, if you go right now to a site called Fizber, F-I-Z-B-E-R, or you go to sold, SOLD.com, or you go to Zillow, ZILLOW.com, you can find all of the for sale by owners in your market. You could probably give her the list, couldn't you? Yes, I can. She can give you the list, right? And then you're gonna call and go, hey, it's Wes at Banana Real Estate. Saw that you guys had your home on the market, currently as a for sale by owner. How's it going? And they're gonna go, are you a real estate agent? Yes, I am a real estate agent. I wanna know, how's it going? Are you guys getting lots of activity? Are you having lots of buyers through? Have you received any offers? Well, we've only been on the market now for 30 days, and well, we had one open house and nobody showed up, and then somebody gave us a stupid lowball offer, but I need to let you know as a for sale by owner, I have no interest in working with real estate agents. That's exactly why I'm calling. I'm calling because I do represent clients that are interested in buying houses, and if one of my clients was interested in buying your house, would you let me participate in the transaction, yes or no?
Yes.
Cool. Let me come by, take a look at the house, preview the property like I do for all my clients before I go out and show them a house. What would be the best time this week for me to see that house? Tuesday. Awesome. Bang. And guess what? You're in the game. You do that every day. Now, I have a friend. Does anybody know the name Gary Vaynerchuk? Okay. His sister Liz is a client of mine, right? We're sitting in Miami, Agent 2021, whatever that was, and literally he and I are sitting across from each other. We're yapping it up because we did this big conference down in Miami. And his sister Liz goes, I'm thinking about getting into real estate. And Gary goes, will you take care of my sister? And I'm like, of course. We get her a coach. She starts working with her coach. She called me and said, what do you recommend? Here's what I told her. Call every for sale by owner in the market, call every expired listing in the market, but have zero expectation of taking a single listing. She goes, well, why would I make all those phone calls if I wasn't expecting to take a listing? I said, I want you to learn, why does someone not choose an agent? I want you to learn what were the expectations that this person had when they listed with their friend, and where did their friend fail, and then what are the lessons, so when you're at the soccer game, or you're with your kids, or you're with your family, and they go, how's the market? You go, you know, in the last 30 days, I talked to 147 people. Half of them were trying to sell on their own and hadn't, and half actually had their home on the market, and the home didn't sell, and they all had 3 things in common. And you know what happens? People go, what do they have in common? Like, they're super interested in what you're saying now. You don't sound like, as Liz was then, an agent that had never sold a house before. Does that make sense? Overnight, you go from immature in the business to extremely mature in the business. And all my friends in the room, all my veteran friends, if she did that for 30, 60, 90 days, is someone gonna list their house with her, yes or no? Someone's gonna go, shit girl, I just like you, come over. You with me? It's gonna happen. But more importantly, how mature will she be at the end of that process? What do you guys think? Scale from 1 to 10, I'd probably move her from a 0 now to at least a 7 or 8. And that means every client you meet afterwards will be easier than an expired listing or a for sale by owner. Right or wrong, guys?
Absolutely right.
Okay, so you got it? Your job is to hold her accountable. Sit right here, get numbers, and text each other every day, and then you gotta keep me in the loop. Give her a giant round of applause, both of them.
Tom, I'm gonna shift gears because we're limited on time.
Yes.
But I actually brought my sales staff up here, and I can speak on behalf of all of them.
Yes.
You've been an absolute breath of fresh air, and I think I can speak on behalf of the audience as well. Would you guys all agree? Is he wonderful or what? So I'm putting them on the spot.
Okay.
And I'm sure you love that. And I want each of them to ask you a very good question pertaining to their business and what it is that they can do to improve upon it.
Love it.
So let's start with Jen. If you don't have a question for Tom, think of one right now.
Or say pass.
I'll pass. I'll come back.
I'll pass. What is your favorite color?
What do you feel is the best way for Catherine and myself and the team over here at New World Title to be able to keep each other accountable and our other partners accountable?
Okay, so very simple for all of us inside the room. If you want to create more accountability, there's 3 ways. 1, get crystal clear on a daily discipline or 2 that you want to do. For example, if I was in the title business, I would want to schedule 1 appointment every day with a real estate agent that I could meet with. Does that make sense? So I'd create an accountability around, you want 1 buyer appointment, 1 listing appointment every single day, right? Same thing for all of us, yes? So I'm gonna create an accountability around a very specific measurable activity, a result that I wanna produce. Number 2, I'm gonna get it up and visual in the office. I'm gonna scoreboard it. You with me? And number 3, we have to text each other every day to say, how did you do? Make sense? That's the easiest way to do it. That's how I would do it.
Leslie?
Okay. What would you say is the type of value that real estate agents should look for in the title partner that they choose to work with?
So as we all know, insurance is a commodity, like mortgage is a commodity. So what do you guys think? I know what the answer is. I personally coach the #1 sales manager in all of title in LA County, 43% market share of LA County. This guy is Napoleon. Guess what his answer is? Relationships. And guess where relationships are formed? In creating a bond around what we just did here with Wes. Wes is like, I'm a brand new agent. I know if I've got Catherine on my side, we're gonna create accountability. Catherine's gonna take her wisdom, transfer it over. She's gonna get a listing. She's gonna get a title order. Everybody wins. Does that make sense? That's how you do it.
Love it. Dave?
No, I'll pass.
Okay, can I do something before we go?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
2 things. Are you following me on Instagram, yes or no? Okay, so everyone that isn't, will you follow me on Instagram? That's where I mean, I'm on everything, but that's where I play the most. Second thing I would ask, are you on my mailing list, like my email list? Okay, so not all of you. Okay, so 2 things I want you to do. First, can you give me the click? Okay, take a look at that really fast. I'd make the argument that that's what a lot of real estate agents are gonna look like in 2024. What do you guys think? And what we know is, metaphorically, the river is rough right now, right? Buyers are confused. Even with the rates dropping to less than 7.5, there's still buyers that are waiting on the sidelines. There's this visual in people's heads that like no sellers are gonna put their home on their market if they have an interest rate of 3, yet we've proven that is not the case. There's all this confusion, and the argument that I make for people is, if you have a coach, if you have a guide, if you have somebody helping you, who has kids? Say I. You ever take them bowling? Who's ever been bowling before? You ever thrown a gutter ball besides me? Okay, you know what sucks when you're with your kids and you're bowling? When they don't have those bumper rails up. Because then my kids are like, bowling is stupid, right? Because it just boom, right in the gutter, and I have to walk carefully over, pick up the ball, bring it back to them and say, try and go down the middle, and they throw it right in the gutter. But when we found the rockin' bowler place that has the guardrails up, you guys know what I mean? What happens now? They throw the ball, it goes bing, 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 kung, and it knocks something over and they go, yay! You know what a coach is today? Guardrails. Boom. You're like, I need to become more disciplined. Coach is like, great, let's create an accountability around that. Let's actually follow through. Let's get things done. Just like going to an AA meeting, just like going to Jenny Craig. So here's my request. If you want to know more about what we do, capture that phone number. If you think between now and the end of the year, you'd be better off with me or going it alone, don't call. But if you think, hey, having somebody like me, and I'm one of 236, right? If you think having someone like me, if you call my office and say, hey, I saw this slide, Tom says, what is the bananas offer? What is the bananas offer? I'll tell you guys in advance, they're gonna take half off on the first month to make it super easy. You with me on this? And then we're gonna get you a coach, and you and your coach are gonna finish your plan, figure out what those daily accountabilities are, and get started. Does that make sense? Very, very simple. So, as we wrap, David, I gotta say this. This is like the 3rd time we did it in Jersey, then we did it kind of outside of Fort Lauderdale, Miami.
Davie.
Right, Davie, Florida, and now here we are in New York because you guys launched in New York. Can you give these guys and the new world title team, can you give them a giant round of applause and a thank you? Rudy, where are you?
I'm right here, right behind you.
Oh, sorry. This guy right here. The only thing I would say to all of you, was this a valuable experience, yes or no? Okay, so here's, right, and thank you, but listen, I'm just the conduit to these guys. We're just friends. They're like, hey, will you come and do an event? I'm like, sure, I'll land at 1:30 in the morning. No one cares. Do an event, have some fun, deliver some value, hopefully make you laugh. I'm gonna give you guys the slides. Actually, I already did the PDF of everything that I did here. You can give to all of them. Is that cool?
Every single person here that registered with us will get a copy of Tom's slides. You good with that?
Is that cool? Is that cool? Okay. So all I would say to you guys, because they won't say it, but I will, give them a try. You know, if you're doing 15 deals a year, give them 1 out of 5. Just 1 out of 5 and see what happens. See if there's a noticeable difference between their customer care, their customer service, and maybe what your existing person is doing. And if there is a degree of separation, then you have an opening for a relationship. Does that make sense?
Make it 5 out of 5.
Right? He's like, no, we want 5 out of 5. Okay, I like that. But I say honestly, because it's a relationship business, yes or no, guys? You don't just switch loan officers on a Tuesday. You make a new relationship. This person's got a different product. They got a different offering that serves your client. You try it out. They did a good job. The client experience was awesome. Okay, cool. I'll give them more opportunities. That's how it works. That's how you work. That's how I work. That's how they work. All right. So I got a jet. I have to bail, guys. So can I tell you guys a story before I go? Okay, do me a favor. Look your buddy right in the eye and say, "You're going to die." Yes, it's so motivating, isn't it? You're gonna die. So, I want you to go to the Google Death Clock, you pretty in red. I want you to go answer the 6 questions. It's so motivating, but you know why it's motivating? Look up here. Look up here, ladies and gentlemen. It's because we're all limited on time. When my sons were 6 and 8, a friend of mine in Southern California bought like 7 miles of oceanfront between La Paz, Mexico, and Cabo San Lucas. And it was the only safe harbor. The name of the harbor, this 1.5-mile bay, for all my people that speak Spanish, Bahia de los Muertos. Oh, what a great marketing name. Come to the Bay of the Dead. So we changed it from Bahia de los Muertos to Bahia de los Sueños, Bay of the Dreams. And he starts to build this property out. He builds a restaurant, he builds his home, he starts to sell lots, he builds a golf course. And in the middle of all this, he calls me and says, "Can you come down, do some consulting? I want, help me understand, how do I meet with agents? What are the things I need to do?" So he flies me, my boys, my wife, and my in-laws all down, full expenses paid, yada, yada, yada. And one night we're sitting at this little restaurant and we're having food, and he's already bailed because his daughter's a little bit younger. And we're all sitting there and you go to Mexico, you have a margarita, maybe a little shot of tequila, woohoo, here we go. And on the way back, walking down the beach, I see like my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, like they're clearly going to bed. And the boys are like, "Dad, let's play." And I was like, "Okay." My wife's like, "Hey, don't stay out too late." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And it's like 11 o'clock at night. And I'm like, "What do you guys want to do?" "I don't know." And my son is already on the ground doing angels, right, in the sand. And then so that's Steven. Michael lays down. I lay down in the middle. And if you haven't done this with your kids, I don't care how old they are, you should do them. I got my arms around my boys, and we're just staring up like this. And my older son is 24, very analytical, says, "Dad, how many stars are there?" And I'm like, I don't know, man. What do you think? And he's like, "Well, I was watching this thing on the news, blah, blah, blah." And he goes into all this like analytical shit, which I don't understand, and he's 8. And I said, "Well, all I know is my grandmother once told me if you put your thumb up like this, you cross out 1,000,000 stars." So he goes like this, both hands, both feet. And he's like, "How many stars did I just cross out?" I'm like, "I don't know, 10 bazillion. And then he's like, "Daddy," and as he's asking me this question, I look over my younger son, Steven, who is a real estate agent in Hoboken, New Jersey, on Jill Biggs' team, right? And at 22 years old, having so much fun, every time my son lays down, he's just out, right? So he's asleep. Michael's asking me all these questions. And his next question was, "Daddy, how old is the earth?" And I'm like, "Dude, I had like 3 margaritas at dinner. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't have Siri. I can't ask these questions." But I said, I was reading in this article that said that they found this rock in Minnesota. And I'm not a geologist, but somehow they were able to read the rings, like the layers of the rock. And it said it was like 137 trillion years old. And Michael's like, "How many zeros is that?" I'm like, "I don't know." But what does every good parent do? You play into their curiosity. I said, grab a stick, and in this bay with no waves, just little trickles, moonlight, stars, magical, he goes 137,000,000,000,000,000,000,000,000, all the way down the beach. And he's like, "That's a lot of zeros." I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Dad, how old are you?" I was like, "I am 38. So he goes, perfect math, all the way down to the end, puts 38 under the last 2 zeros. And then he goes, "How old is Papa?" And I go, "Papa's 82. 82. And then he goes, "Dad, how old are you going to be when you die?" And I hadn't been to the Google Death Clock yet, so I didn't know. I said, "Well, Grandpa's 82, and he made it through World War II. And I said, "There's some dude smoking weed in India right now that are at least 120. I didn't actually say that. But it was like, there's people living longer right now. I said, "So, I'm maybe 90, 95. And he goes, 38, 82, 95. And he looks at me and he goes, "Dad, you don't have any time." And I was like, shit, I do not need motivation. I'm on vacation. I don't need to get fired up at 11:45 at night. So I said, Michael, none of us have any time. None of us have any time. And I could just, you know when you like have these conversations sometimes with your kids and they just, or like your puppy, and they just kind of look at you. And I'm like, Michael, you know what it means? You gotta do stuff that you love. You gotta do it with people that you love, and you gotta do it all day long. And if you do that, you live a blessed life. And I said, what do you wanna do? Now, we were just in Chicago the week before with my mafioso buddy, Jimmy, and Jimmy builds skyscrapers, and he is mafia, in downtown Chicago. And I say, well, what do you mean? He goes, I wanna be like Jimmy. And I'm thinking, mob? Okay. He goes, no, I wanna build skyscrapers. You know what we did? From 11:45 until 1:30 in the morning, we were building skyscraper sandcastles. And he's telling me, Daddy, Mom and I and Nova, our older dog, we're gonna live up here in the penthouse. You and Steven are gonna live in the basement down here. And this is where the pool is. And then I'm gonna build a golf course like Mr. Games. And he's describing all this to me. And I go, are these gonna be rentals or are you gonna sell them? He goes, I'm gonna sell some for like $1 bazillion. And then I'm gonna rent some out. And how many of you are married? Can you feel your spouse's presence? I'm in the middle of sandcastles, like doing this stuff with my son. I'm in such heaven. And all of a sudden I feel these Italian daggers being shot into the back of my head. And my wife is just walking down the beach. Steven's legs are now covered in water, right? He's just, and Michael and I are sand everywhere, castles, talking about selling these things. And literally my wife walks up and she's like, what are you doing with the children? And my son just goes, Mom, we're building sandcastle skyscrapers because we don't have any time. And I was like, I'm gonna tell this story every day for the rest of my life, right? Like that's what's going through my head. And my wife looked at me and she's like, okay. And you know what we did? We kept doing it. Find what you love, do it. Over and over and over and over and over and over, because guess what? You're gonna die. I don't feel like making phone calls. No one cares. I don't wanna shoot videos. No one cares. You don't wanna shoot, if you don't shoot 2 videos a day, you have to shave your head. You gotta start the whole damn thing over. You with me on this? Because that took, what, 3 weeks to do? Yeah, or like 5 years. You with me on this? No one cares. Go do the work with absolute passion every single day. Stop being a candy ass. Work harder. Customers need you now more than ever. You guys got it? Okay, can we thank New World Title one more time, guys? I'm out. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you.